right, we have special guest John Rourke back in from Blue Line Moving. Thank you again for coming back in, buddy. I appreciate it.
I'm back, ready to go.
Same hat?
Same hat. I stay on that FJB. That's what I do. 24/7, 365.
So if people didn't see the first one and they were in a cave or don't watch TV,
Sure.
all the cleanups you did, the company, just give a little bit of background on yourself and things that you've done so people know who you are if they don't.
Sure. So I'm retired from the Army. Went in 96. Retired in 2015. Married, 4 kids. Own a couple of businesses, one being Blue Line Moving. That's the one I'm here to talk to you about. Part of Blue Line Moving is doing things in the community. It's not just about moving and storing people's stuff and some of the things that we do. It's more so about giving back to the community. That's really like I kind of feel like I live a life of service. You know, being in the Army for so long. My dad was a police officer, so growing up with him, seeing the way that he handled his business, always giving back. He retired from the police force. He takes over running an American Legion for another 25 years after he was 20 years as a cop, always serving. So I guess that's all I've ever seen is him helping other people or doing something for other people he doesn't know a lot of times. So it kind of rubbed off on me and joined the Army, and then being able to come full circle, working for Blue Line Moving at one point as a mover, and then being able to come back and buy the business from my old boss and then turn it into what it is today is truly like is what I feel like I was put here to do. I'm at that next chapter in my life. I closed out the military portion of it, but I still feel like I want to keep serving. And Blue Line and the business model gives me the ability to be able to do these things, to be able to make a little bit of money and be able to give it back to a police department, to be able to travel all over the United States because we're doing moves nationwide and seeing some of these places that are really neglected and hard hit and saying, why not me? Why can't I be the guy that goes there and cleans up garbage for these people and help out a little bit? Maybe it motivates someone else that lives there to pick up where I left off and keep it that way. You just never know. But, I can do my part and get people motivated and keep it going. And that's kind of what happened in Baltimore, really, is, people saw what we were doing. We got it like a baseline clean for them, and then they took it from there, and they're trying to maintain it.
They did keep it clean?
They try to. I mean, it's an overwhelming task, man. Like,
well, when you go there and you go to Baltimore, I guess it was Baltimore where you got to narc a guy the first day.
Yeah,
two
guys, brothers.
2 guys, yeah. First day he's there, he has to narc him. He's going there to clean up as like a charitable, garbage. Pay it forward type of thing.
I just saw the news coverage from when Trump was calling it a rat-infested shithole.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't believe that's a real city. I cannot believe that is an actual city in the United States. There's no way that's real life. So I went and found out that, that's about real life as it gets right there, buddy. Like, we drove up there, saw it, put together drove up there overnight. Holy moly, man. I mean, this place was dirtier than Mosul, Iraq.
Yeah. The first day he's there, 2 guys need narked, cleans that up, a whole shit show. Then he goes to Texas, and, I'm not speaking for you.
Yeah.
I'm speaking with you.
100%.
He goes to Texas. Now he thinks, oh, shit, okay, 2 guys got narked, it can't get any worse. Then he goes to Texas, 3, 4 guys are drowning. You got a kid. You got to have a mother feeding her baby in sand and dirt, which he later explained that a lot of times it's hard to tell because they're prepped to try to find a way to get over the border. So as you had said, it's tough to decipher, is she really suffering or was she prepped to get over the border?
Yeah.
But the guy's drowning, it's the same thing too. Are they drowning so you pull them out to get over the border, or are they really drowning?
No,
but either way, you're there to fucking clean up.
Yes, man. I'm there to pick up trash, and next thing you know, I'm picking people out of a river. And I literally said the words, man, I can't believe that this is worse than Baltimore.
That's what I mean, because
I couldn't believe it, man. Like, in Baltimore, man, I'm telling you, Baltimore was completely out of control, man. Like, just completely out of control.
See, now I could see Baltimore because, I've been there, like, there's a lot of bad parts of Baltimore. But Texas, it was Del Rio, right?
Del Rio.
Del Rio. I mean, you want to talk about bad.
Border town, man.
Is that south, like real south, like Mexico border?
Yeah, it's right on the border.
And how long were you guys there?
3 days.
3 days. And how many people?
I brought 4 guys plus me out there, and then some people joined in that lived there, and but for the most part, it was just us. When we were underneath that bridge cleaning up, I started getting the Haitians to start cleaning up.
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of Haitians speak Spanish, and one of the guys that was with us spoke Spanish, and I said, tell them they need to pick up these garbage bags, and they need to start cleaning up themselves. Like, what are we doing here? They're literally just sitting there all day long.
Just watching
you guys
do
to
it.
do.
Yeah.
They're just sitting on what most of them weren't sitting on anything, just sitting in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them were taking the garbage bags from us and then cutting them open to lay on them because they didn't have anything to lay on, right? So I'm okay with. I don't care. Take the garbage bag, man. It's whatever. But a lot of them started helping picking up the garbage, and I'm trying to tell my buddy through translating, like, tell them that this is how it is here. This is in Haiti. You don't just drink a can of Coke and then just throw it in the street. Like, you look for a garbage can. If you can't find one, you hold on to it until you can. You don't just throw it down there. You don't just, this shirt, I don't want it anymore. Throw it in the bushes over there.
Do you think a lot of that garbage is from other people coming over and having the mindset in their country where they just throw shit out the window, then they come here and do the same?
Well, they're limited on what they can and can't carry. So the majority of the garbage is clothes and food items and toiletry items. So when you're crossing the Rio Grande, they're bringing their dry clothes in a garbage bag. You'll see tons of black garbage bags everywhere. And if you look at the pictures of the trash and the videos of the trash on any news station that talks about it, or even on my social media, you can see the videos of all garbage bags, dry clothes in them. They cross the Rio, their clothes get wet. So what they do, take off their wet clothes, they have the dry clothes in the garbage bag, they put the dry clothes on, throw the wet clothes on the ground, throw the garbage bag on the ground, and then keep it moving.
This podcast is brought to you by Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. It's the ideal combo of the right ingredients in the right proportion to deliver a big bad buzz that only Monster can. Monster packs a powerful punch, has a smooth, easy drinking flavor. Athletes, musicians, co-eds, road warriors, metalheads, geeks, hipsters, and bikers dig it. You will too. Monster Energy is more than just the green OG. Monster has Monster Ultra, Juice Monster, Monster Hydro, Rehab Monster, Dragon Tea, Monster Max, Muscle Monster, and many more. Buy on Amazon, buy on Walmart, or go to monsterenergy.com and believe me, you'll find a place. Unleash the beast. Monster Energy.
And leave everything behind.
It's a whole setup from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't know that going into this.
No.
But then when you were there, you realized that a large percentage of all this shit is a way to get over here, as far as Texas is concerned.
Yeah, Texas, a lot of the people that are coming across are Haitians, right? And a lot of those Haitians live in Chile. A lot of people have no idea. I had no idea that was even a thing until I went there. And next thing you know, I got 200 Chilean passports or IDs in my hands that I'm finding on the riverbanks.
Yeah.
Because what the Haitians are doing is that earthquake happened. There was a big earthquake, right, years ago. Chile said, hey, you can take up residency here as a humanitarian thing, which they did. So they've been living in Chile for 5, 6, 7 years. I forget how long ago that big earthquake was. They've been living in Chile, chilling in Chile for that whole time, waiting for a Democrat to get into office with weak border policies, and then that's their time to come across. Well, they couldn't have picked a weaker person. I mean, this is literally the weakest guy that maybe exists in the entire world, Joe Biden. Like, you look up weakness in a dictionary and there he is, right? Like this, there is no southern border. People, anyone that's listening to this, it doesn't exist. There is no southern border in our country. There's not, because the people that they catch, they're releasing into the country. These people are not going back home. They're going to West Palm Beach. They're going to Miami. They're going to New York City.
That's what blew my brain, that you were telling me that people from Chile are coming to Miami.
They're Haitians.
I was like, what? Chile?
Yes.
But they're actually Haitians coming from Chile into Miami.
Yeah, because the opportunity presented itself when another earthquake happened about, maybe it's got to be like 7 months ago now. A small one, I think it was like a 7-something, maybe high 6s, that gave them their opportunity to leave Chile with a reason to stay here. So they leave Chile, right? They show up at the border, they throw their ID. So when they show up, Border Patrol, you have any ID? No. Where are you from? Haiti. Obviously, they have a Haitian accent. Mm-hmm. The
Can't
Patrol,
beat that. Right?
you're from Haiti. Why are you here? The earthquake, we barely escaped, whatever the case may be. We're here. Humanitarian reasons, they're keeping them here, man. They're going to check them in. They're going to get their information. Then they're going to give them a bus or a plane ticket to wherever it is that they want to go. And they're going to put them and everybody else that's going to that location on that bus or plane, fly them in or drive them in the middle of the night. They'll rent a hotel, like they'll put them into a town, find like a Days Inn, rent as many rooms as they can in a couple of hotels that are in close proximity, like right next to the highway. Buy all those hotels for like 2 months and just boom. And they do that with the assistance of what's called NGOs, non-governmental organizations. These are people that are sympathetic to illegal immigration, frankly, people coming here and not following the rule of law and doing it the correct way. So they set all this up, and the government works with these NGOs for safe passage to their people. And then they get them put into places that are sanctuary cities, counties, towns, whatever. And then once you're there, the police are never going to send you home. They're never going to call Border Patrol and say, hey, we found 6 people from Guatemala. They don't have any ID. They're not supposed to be here. Not in all these towns that they're going to. Town of Jupiter, where I used to live, where my business is a sanctuary city. They're not taking. Yeah.
Wow.
Palm Beach County, same thing. They're not. Yeah, they're not stopping these guys. Oh, you don't have any ID? Where are you from? Oh, I'm from over here. I don't really speak good English. They're not calling in a retainer to get rid of these guys. They're just telling them, hit the road.
You never hear that. You never hear that Jupiter's sanctuary city, Palm Beach. You never even hear about this happening in Texas. And you didn't hear it before this administration. You never heard about any of it.
No.
It just didn't happen overnight. It's been going on.
And then you know what the problem is too, man, is I'm not knocking people. A lot of them are good people just trying to get a better life for their family, but a lot of them are bad people too. So you don't hear about the people that are coming across bringing in fentanyl and heroin and God knows what else, right? Like fentanyl's at an all-time high. It's murdering youth at an unbelievable, more than obviously COVID is, which is killing nobody, but the fentanyl is killing our youth in droves, and they're doing nothing about it. The vast majority of it comes from China, which they're doing nothing about, and then comes across the border, which they're doing nothing about. I mean, they're pulling over cars. I saw a video yesterday with guys wearing carpet over their shoes so they're not leaving footprints in the desert so they can't be tracked. You know what I'm saying? Like they're tying carpet over their shoes. Like, you got to understand something, man. Like, unless you build the wall and build it high and make it secure with technology, they're not going to stop coming here, because the way that they look at it is, if I don't come here, I'm going to die, so I'll do whatever it takes to get here. And when you have someone that's that determined to get somewhere, they're going to probably get there. But you have to put these big obstacles in their way to at least try to funnel them to a certain location where you can get them easier. Or, you know what I'm saying, put technology on the wall to where if someone climbs on it or does something, it sets off an alarm, which, you know, gives you a spot to go. But the wall has to be built, man. It has to be.
Well, one, they have nothing to lose, so they don't care.
No.
Right? So you can't stop them even with the wall. One thing I think you can do.
You can stop them with a wall. You can, and it was stopping them. The problem is that they stopped building the wall. So all people are doing is going to the places where the wall doesn't exist. Now, you're not going to stop people that are flying in here or overstaying visas, or flying in from, you know, Colombia on a plane and then never, you know, buying a return ticket so they don't get questioned for a one-way ticket, but never returning. And then they just stay here forever. Like, no one even talks about that. The border gets all of the shine for obvious reasons. It's such a tragedy to see the people coming across, but people don't even talk about the amount of people that come in through the airports. It's insane. They get a visa, they just overstay. That's it. They're here forever.
Well, that brings me to a question. So what do you think about term limits? Because you can look at it one of two ways. Okay, so like Trump was in, he was strict on the border. He was building that wall.
Yeah.
If his term limit was 8 months, it might have got done, right?
Yeah. If he had an extra time, you're saying?
I'm saying, say it was 8 years instead of 4.
Oh, for sure.
Okay?
The wall would be done.
It would have been done,
Correct.
right? But then on the other hand, if it was like it is now you would have 8 years of this. What's going on now?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So, I mean, what's your feeling on term limits? Do you think that they should be longer? Do you think they're good the way they are? I know one thing. I definitely wouldn't want to be in Congress. They got to do that shit every 2 years. So, for 2 years, you're paying everybody around you to help get you stay in your spot. Then, if you're lucky, you get into the spot, and then the cycle repeats. You're paying everybody around you to go for you and all that other shit. So, Congress is a little nuts.
So the problem with term limits is this, and I'm for term limits. I think.
How long though? Do you think?
So I like I think the presidency should probably be 10 years, maybe. But then again, imagine having Joe Biden for 10 years. So it's kind of good in that way too, right? But for me, it's more the people that get reelected and reelected and reelected, like Nancy Pelosi, like Chuck Schumer. These people that have literally are 80 years old. And they're trying to, talk about cryptocurrency. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Right.
Like John McCain used to be able to say, like, it was one or the other. He didn't know how to send a text or he didn't know how to send an email. But he was running for the president of the United States, and you can't send an email or send a text. So you think Nancy Pelosi is going to tell me about crypto? She's going to pass laws to prevent me, or she's just a stooge. Have you seen her? Look at Joe Biden. He can't even talk.
They're all of them. I mean, Pelosi and Biden. No offense to them, but they're in God's waiting room.
Yes, man. It is
Both
what it
of
is.
them.
The average age of life, the average male age in the United States, I think it went down to 73 or 74 or something, maybe like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the 70s.
Maybe even 72.
These people are way past that.
Yeah, trying to run them.
But Trump is too. But then when you look at Trump next to Biden, when I just recently saw Trump, it was like I'm talking to a 30 or a 40-year-old man.
Where was that? I think you saw him, the American Freedom Tour. I heard that on the radio all the time.
American Freedom Tour is amazing. Really
packed, jam-packed.
Packed, bro.
Yeah,
full stadium, man. In the beginning, we were there in the morning from 7-8. We were there basically 7:15 to 7:15 a whole day. Speaker after speaker after speaker. Earlier in the morning, it was busy, but obviously when the heavy hitters like Kimberly Guilfoyle, Donald Trump Jr., Dan Bongino, some of those guys start to speak, then the place starts to really fill up. Because it's a lot to ask people to come sit for 12 hours and listen to people talk.
Right.
But if you're really into it like I am, then it was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had a great time. And obviously I get to meet the president and tell him that when he wins re-election in 2024, I will indeed be the guy that moves him into the White House. And he said, you got a deal, and shook my hand.
There you go. Pull up his website.
Yeah. So that's a wrap.
Tab 2, I think.
When he wins, we're bringing him in.
Blue Line Moving will be bringing him in.
And obviously, we were just talking before this started about updating the website.
Yeah, this will
my
be
trucks don't look anything like that. I'm working right now with Tommy to get this stuff changed over. But
yeah, we can go to the Instagram to get a better look. But
this is who we are right here. You see the photos, man. This is.
Yeah, if people are listening, want to narrate this a little bit, John?
Sure.
Just about your company.
So these are some of the moves here. That was one of the moves we did in Boca. This is up there. The picture you see driving on the highway. That's in New York City. That's at the American Freedom Tour. That's our warehouse in Jupiter. Some of the trucks just got back from New York, so I took that picture. So that's the fleet right there. All brand new trucks, Mack trucks. Those Mack trucks are 2022s.
You can't miss them. They say Blue Line Moving in black.
Oh yeah, all wrapped. That's at Mar-a-Lago. I met the president at Mar-a-Lago there, and what an amazing night, man.
Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and right there it says you're going to be moving them. And play that one.
You move people all over the country?
All nationwide, yeah, all over the place, specifically from New York.
My dad did that at a young age.
Yeah, man.
Moving van company.
Did he?
Yeah.
Play that. This is so cool, even though we have it on everything. To me, this is badass.
It is. It's very, one of my guys, Jeff, that works for me, getting creative with us.
And that's 561-398-8078.
That's it.
I can read it when it's going fucking like that, too.
When it's going.
Full time lapse through New York.
Yeah, man. And it's like, dude, you think New York still has lost a step, but it's like there's just freaking people walking all over the damn place still, man.
How much of it is it a pain in the ass to drive a truck like that in downtown New York?
Just depends on the kind of guy you are. Like some people like it. Like I get fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Because
you're bigger than them.
Yeah, I'm bigger than them, man. And I live laying on the horn. I'm freaking honking that. The signs that say honking, no honking, $450. I'm ripping that horn.
Yeah.
Honk,
and if you want to see the first one with all its cleanups, it's absolutely amazing. It's 156. There's clips, and it will also be on John's YouTube page very soon.
That's our guys moving some stuff into the truck from one of our, big job we had. There we are.
Yep, and that's Blue Line Moving on Instagram. You can see everything there. Video clips from
Tucker,
Carlson,
Fox
Newsmax,
and Friends First.
That's right. You went on Fox and Friends First too.
Yeah, man. That was Carl Higbee show on Newsmax. That was really cool. Just been a lot. Dr. Gina show, but obviously Tucker and the New York Post article were like the two,
Yeah, pull up the New York
and the
Post
Kimberly
article.
Guilfoyle Instagram post.
How did the Post article come about?
So I was watching Fox and Friends in the morning before I went to work, and one of the New York Post like columnist slash Fox News contributor was moving, talking about how she's moving out of New York. So naturally, I'm like, she's moving. I got to move her, right? So I try to find her on social media. I go to her page. She has like a like page. Send her a private message, but I know like people don't usually, if you don't know the person, it's going to go to like their spam folder in their messages.
It's like the request folder or something.
Whatever it is. I knew
stupid.
she wasn't going to go to her, she wasn't going to see my message. But so I went to her page and I saw that she put, look for me on Fox and Friends at 8:30 or whatever, 8 o'clock. And it only had like 3 comments. So I commented, hey, my name is John Rourke with Blue Line Moving. I'm the owner. I'd love to move you to the land of freedom. Check your messages. I would love to give you a quote. And she checked her messages. Then a mutual friend somehow we had that I knew from New York that was friends with my family commented and was like, oh, this is definitely the guy you need to use. And she messaged me. And then we reached out. I was able to move her from Brooklyn to Boca. So I met her at Boca at the offload. And I was like, hey, Carol, how's it going? Nice to meet you. I'm John. I'm the owner. We're the one that spoke. So, and she was like, oh, nice to meet you. Great company, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, this more than moving. This, I don't know if you know some of the things we've done. And that's when I told her about the cleanups and, and all the stuff that we do for the community. And she was like, oh my God, has anyone ever did an article on you, like a newspaper? I was like, no. And she's like, well, I would love to have, have New York Post do one on you. And I was like, oh my God, I would be honored.
So she put you on to all this.
All that.
She's the one who got you the Tucker. She was the basis for it all.
She didn't get me Tucker. It came after Tucker. So me doing the New York, Tucker was first. Then the Kimberly Guilfoyle post on Instagram was second. Then the New York Post was third. So I told her I was on Tucker Carlson for the cleanup. So believe me, because it's an unbelievable story.
Which he did himself, by the way.
So
he kept hounding him.
That's
Tucker?
what I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I background searched him, got his phone number, and
He
then
did.
text messaged him until he answered me.
Nexus.
Until he text messaged me back and couldn't believe what he saw in the videos, and then boom, I was on Tucker Carlson.
And here's the article. Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. And it was like a freaking full page, almost a
page.
full page ad, page 19, which is weird. It's my birthday.
For a company for that, what would that cost, Rob?
But newspaper, I don't know. But
New York Post.
Yeah, not a whole bunch of money.
what do you think it would be from your TV experience in the
TV's
past?
different, but I don't know. That might be a $10,000 page right
I heard it's 30.
Yeah, could be.
Full
Yeah.
page. I mean, that's
Yeah.
almost a
Even-
full page, about 3/4 of a page. You see that little slim thing on the
Yeah.
side there.
Yeah.
But it's obviously a picture with Don Jr. right on the front. So pack mentality. And this is kind of, once this New York Post hit.
I still get the Post, and you actually
I
can't
love the
knock them
Post.
because they were nice enough to use the picture where you could see blue line moving.
100%.
A lot of other newspapers would fuck you some way, somehow.
Yeah, man.
So you got to give it to them that, because they could have cut that out if they wanted.
Kristen Fleming wrote the article. She's awesome.
Shout out to her, right?
She did the right thing, and I appreciate that. I mean, the amount of business that I've gotten from this article
Oh, I can't
is
imagine.
more than everything else I've done combined.
I bet.
And Tucker, any show, you name it, all the Instagram posts, at this right here, I got 3 moves today that people called today looking for me to move them from the New York Post. I did that. That came out, and where's the date on that?
It's
The
January 21st,
21st.
2022. I bet you wish you would have got your laser eyes done like I did, because I'm 2015.
I can't.
I thought it said 31st, but I knew it said something like that. I
Nah,
could see it now.
January 21st. You might want to invest in another fucking half a page, buddy.
Right? So like she just messaged me actually a couple of days ago telling me that she just did an article on a guy that opened up a Let's Go Brandon store in New Jersey, and she thought of me. She's like, I saw this guy open up did this store, and at first I immediately thought of you. So she sent me the article, and the guy
Well,
was awesome.
not wishing this at all, but I'm sure Chile is just waiting for the next earthquake.
Oh.
So, it's probably the only country on the
So
planet.
is Del Rio.
Del Rio. They're waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
So the next one that happens, you contact her, you get a 30K page
Yeah.
half price, and we'll set things off.
Hey, this next cleanup is going to be nuts, man.
And here she is, right? This is
Yeah.
Kristen.
That was like the online portion of it,
Right.
what she put on there.
Yeah.
And it's just been bumping, man. Like people calling from the New York Post left and right.
I still get the Post in the mail. I
read it every day.
Everybody
Every
likes
single day I read the New York Post. My dad read the New York Post every single day.
Get it?
And what was cool is he was in the New York Post when he was a cop in New York City they did a write-up on him because he delivered a baby on the streets of New York.
Oh, wow.
So it was pretty cool that he was in the Post and I'm in the Post. You know, it's like a tradition, family tradition. Now it's like my son's got to get in the Post now.
What's
somehow.
he think? You're blowing up like this?
My dad's passed, but he would have.
Had he seen any of it?
No.
Fuck.
He would be just.
My mom too.
He would be completely just blown away, bro.
Yeah.
Blown away. He knew I was like a hustler, and he would always say like, "Only you, man. Only you could get this." And it would be like something, you know, like in Key West, you ran into a guy and he took you out all night and you had a yacht. It was the craziest night ever. And, you know, like he'd be like, only you, son, you get, you know, but this is like some next level stuff.
Well, being that he moved, I mean, come on, you know, and then your son moves too and he's hanging out with Trump and everybody else.
My dad was a cop and he was in the paper for delivering the baby on the street. And now I'm in the paper for having a business, right? But part of having, it's not just because of the business, it's because of, you know, the cleanups and taking a stand saying, hey, I'm a conservative. This is what I believe in. If you spend your money with my business, you know I'm not going to be, you know, donating money to Planned Parenthood. I'm not going to be donating money to people that are against the NRA. Like if I'm going to do something, you spend $10,000 on a move with me, right? Like part of that 10K is going to go clean up a border in somewhere along the Mexican-American border, whether it's in Arizona, which is where we're going to do our next cleanup on the border there. Yeah, I just did that. That just came about a couple of days ago, actually, when I was at that American Freedom Tour. I met a guy, Sheriff Mark Lamb, from Pinal County, Arizona. He was one of the speakers at the American Freedom Tour, and I told him what I did in Del Rio. He knew who I was, and I was like, I want to do a cleanup in your county. You know, you're an outspoken conservative. That's where I want to go. I want to help you, and I want to give money to your police department, not some of these police departments along the border that are still liberal run, and they're helping bring these people in essentially by not doing anything, looking the other way.
Right, and that's what I mean. Like your dad would be proud because what you're doing is what he would do as a cop.
Oh yeah,
I would assume he would be cleaning things up, going and helping other departments. You know what I mean?
He just always
just because
people,
it's
man.
a moving company, you're doing similar things to what he would have done.
100%, and that's just who he was. He was always helping somebody, and I feel like that's what I grew up seeing. My dad was always helping somebody, and it just kind of rubs off on you.
It does.
It is what, like, my sister's a cop. That's probably because my dad was a cop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I was almost going to be a cop, but I joined the Army. So close to the same thing.
Rob, if we get in trouble, this is the guy.
Yeah. Yep.
My sister's out in Belglade. She's a sergeant out there. She plays 0 games too.
Wow, it's the Wild West out there. Boy.
You don't want that smoke, bro.
I don't want. I want no problems, Miss or Mrs. Rourke, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I want no motherfucking
She'll
problems.
put those pink cuffs on you real quick.
I'm good. I'm nice and good. Hi, Miss Rourke.
Joanne.
Hi, how are you? Don't want no
Shout out.
So when are you doing Arizona?
September 11th. Falls on a Sunday.
Sticking to that.
We're gonna do it's gonna be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, 9, 10, 11. So I'm gonna fly out there probably in June to get a lay of the land, like I did when I did Del Rio. Flew out there in June just to kind of see what it was like first. So I knew where I was gonna go and what I was gonna do. I didn't do that in Baltimore. I kind of just spur of the moment almost, you know. And we're up there doing it. This time I wanted to fly out there, meet contacts, like. Met the garbage company, set that up, partnered with the Red River Waste Solutions so they could bring a garbage truck out to pick up all the garbage and then dump it for free. So they did that, you know. But now that I've got all this, you know, pub from it, it's like I know the next one is just going to be insanity. And it's like I'm hoping I can raise $100,000 this time and go to this, Sheriff Mark Lamb for Pinal County and say, hey, here's a check for $100,000. I want part of my me giving you this $100K is I want every officer to have some form of a big cash bonus. I don't know how many officers he has, but if he has 50 officers in his his unit there or his department, I want to give each one of them $1,000 cash bonus, like direct payment to them. Like, thank you. What you're doing in this area is not easy. It's not like being a cop in Nebraska. Like, these people are dealing with, they're border patrol agents. They're not city or county police officers.
He was on TV complaining about how bad it was.
Yeah.
He was on, so was the Texas guy. A lot of them have come on.
You have to.
It's 5 minutes and, that's it. That's the end of it.
But the people keep coming, man. They're not slowing down.
No, but They got you. You got 3 down, 51 to go, or how many fucking states there are? 48 to go.
And the drugs, man. The drugs are just insane.
Well, it's
and the human smuggling,
to me,
children.
this war on drugs is just stupid.
Yeah?
It's just stupid. Just make it fucking legal. If they make everything legal, are you going to do it today?
No.
Am I? No. Is he? No. Just make it fucking legal. Tax it. Take the tax money. Use it for real rehabilitation like they do in Portugal.
Drugs like fentanyl,
Just go to
have to be
Portugal.
eliminated, man.
Well,
even if they made fentanyl legal, you should never be able to use it because it can't be trusted. It's not like you're smoking weed or doing a line of coke, right? Which I've never done that, but if you have done it, right? It's been around forever. You don't hear a lot about people dying left and right of cocaine, right?
Well, yeah, you do now because they're putting the fentanyl in it.
Yes, that's
but I'm saying if you make it all legal, then you can go in and get actual coke. I don't think there are people that want fentanyl.
Yeah.
So they're going to do it either way.
I feel like that. I know that.
So if you take it from that perspective,
yes,
right?
I know.
And you keep it illegal because that's the one that's whacking everybody.
Yeah.
The same people that are doing, but at least here it's like dosed correctly. If you go in and get it,
yeah.
I mean you're never going to beat the war on drugs. The government's involved in it. The narcos are involved in it. Everybody's involved. So you make it fucking legal. Just go to Portugal for a week.
Well, you see, and they're doing that now. It's starting. They're legalized shrooms.
Okay, fine.
It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight.
I know, but the war on drugs and the money that we're spending is just
it's crazy.
crazy.
And the lives that are lost and ruined.
The lives are lost when you can just hit a fucking thing, make it fucking legal. At least it's dosed correctly.
Yeah.
And the death rate, I'm sure, will go down dramatically. And you can look at Australia, Portugal, Venezuela. There's 5 or 6 that it's all legal.
The people are going to do it regardless, man. And now you're filling up our prisons. With people that are doing, for drug-related crimes, and now we're paying for those people to...
A lot, too. 40,000... Well, it was. I'm sure it's more now. It was 40,000 per inmate, and we have more jails than anywhere else.
440,000 thanks to Joe Biden per inmate.
4.4
million probably now because of Joe.
It was 40,000 per inmate. I wouldn't doubt it with this deficit.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you made it legal and took the tax money, which we would never do, but like Portugal did, and put the money in good rehab, not this rehab, a real rehab.
Yes.
And if something like over there, if you're hit with half a kilo, you don't go to jail. You have 1 year, 2 outpatient classes a week. If you miss one, you go to jail. But if you follow up with the outpatient, and it's not like a rehabilitation like in the U.S., if you do it for a year, it's wiped. It's like it never, ever happened.
Sure.
And they're down 87% last time I looked. 87.
Wow.
Australia's down 66, and they're only a year into it. And you can go on and on.
Sure.
But that's just my opinion of that.
I don't disagree with you. I just wishful thinking for me is like,
I
wish there was a way we could just eliminate fentanyl completely. It's such a dangerous
one way you
drug.
could do that. You'd have to eliminate where it comes from,
China,
which would just be nuts.
Which, you never know where that's going.
Yeah, you don't know where that's going, and I don't know if you want to go down that road.
We got old Sleepy Joe in office, bro. You never know, man.
I don't know.
If someone's asleep at the wheel, people like to take advantage.
What is the history with Ukraine and Russia? Because years ago, they were part of the Soviet.
Yep.
They were one.
Yep.
And now they're at war. So it's got to be odd, even if, the people, the Russian soldiers weren't around for them. Yep. I'm sure their parents told them that Ukraine and Russia were all one. So they're going into war kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of a lot of Russians that live in Ukraine. Families that never, when they split up, they just stayed. And a lot of these soldiers have family members that live in Ukraine. Right. Cousins, uncles, aunts, like great grandfathers, stuff like that. They're Russian soldiers. They're literally invading a country that lots of their families live in.
That's amazing. And then
Russians marrying Ukrainian women, vice versa, and they're having kids. And then it's like, it's like Florida and Georgia. It's like they're right next to each other. Obviously, they speak the same language. It's intermingled. What the problem is right now is that they have a psychopath running the ship in Russia, and this guy wants to, number one is he cannot, under any circumstances, allow Ukraine to become a NATO country. This is what he's thinking, in my opinion. Because if that happens, then he has American troops and NATO troops literally on his border, and he can't have that. So, number one, he's eliminating the possibility of Ukraine becoming a NATO-backed country by just taking Ukraine over. For two, he wants to reunite the USSR
because they tried to get in NATO in 2014, but they were corrupt as fuck. Nobody talks about that. Ukraine was one corrupt motherfucking country, as corrupt as it can be.
Yeah.
Now it's you can't take away the fight. But prior to, a year ago, if they were talking about Ukraine, it was negative. Yeah. They were corrupt. NATO wouldn't even take them if they wanted to get into NATO.
They're like third from the last honest country that existed. I mean, look at the whole Joe Biden and Hunter Biden thing. Talk about that right there shows you everything you need to know. Now think about that on a micro scale, how many little hustles were going throughout the government if Hunter Biden's over there getting money.
Right. Well, and you have
Who
to
else
also
is over there getting money?
And also Ukraine is the size of Texas?
Yeah.
So what's going on here would equal out what's going on there based on size.
Yeah. I mean,
what we're basically saying.
Yeah. I mean, you have 40 million people in Ukraine.
Yeah, like 44. It was the same as California. 44 million or something.
To be honest with you, man, this guy, Putin, I don't understand how he thought that he was just going to come in there and just take these people over without a fight. Like, these people aren't going to allow you to just come take where they live, where they raise their kids without fighting back, man. And he, for whatever reason, he just assumed that maybe they would just give up.
So you think he thought he was going to go in 3-4 days, maybe a week, and be out?
Yeah, there's no way that he could have wanted what is happening right now.
So do you think
he lost more soldiers in this war right now than they did in Afghanistan, and that war was, I think, 8 years long.
He lost. I looked this morning before you.
15,300.
It said 5,000 to 7,000, but who knows?
What I saw this morning was 15,300 is what this Ukrainian army is saying.
They killed.
How many Russian soldiers are confirmed dead? And then they were putting that up against, how many they lost in Afghanistan over an 8-year battle. And they've done this in a matter of what? I think it's been 28 days, 29 days.
Okay, so to play it even, because they're exaggerating like
sure.
everybody else. So we'll say 10K.
Yeah.
But he lost generals too.
Hell yeah.
He didn't just lose soldiers. He lost some of his
and a lot
guys.
of equipment.
And a lot of equipment. So, again, do you think he got bad intel? Wasn't getting the right intel? Because remember, he was in that bunker for a minute over COVID.
Yeah.
He wasn't leaving.
No. And you know what the thing is with that is I think that no one can give him intel.
Because if they don't tell him what he wants to hear, he's just going to take him out.
He's going to find someone that will tell him what he wants to hear, because what he wants to hear is we're taking over the Ukraine. It's going to go nice and easy. Yes, sir, no problem. I'll get the army ramped up. We'll take this damn country down. It'll be yours. We'll be back to the way it used to be. And let's go get him, sir. And he's like, well, go get him. And yeah, they're not getting shit. They can't even refuel their tankers.
I know.
Their tankers are literally getting stuck in the mud, and they have no one to pull them out. So they're just leaving it there, and then literally there's people on John Deere's hooking up tow straps and pulling tanks out of fields and taking them back to their barns and shit in Ukrainian countryside.
So when you do the math on that, he thought it was going to be an in and out.
Well, he's probably told that,
right.
Led to believe that, because that's what he wanted it to be.
So again, when the media says, he's losing it, I don't think for 2 seconds he's lost one step or half a step. I think he's right. I think he's on top, but I think I'm 100% with you that he didn't get bad intel. He got the intel that was given to him, and that's what he worked off of. The intel that was given to him was what he wanted to hear, only because the people that were telling him didn't want to fucking die.
Yeah.
So he got bad intel through fear of death.
Yeah, man. It's like you ever work for someone where you don't want to mess up. You're even afraid to say something to them because you're afraid of whether, it's like he's in, like, I could see him as that kind of a boss where, like, you just got to tell this guy what he wants to hear, because if you don't, then, you might wind up cut up in a couple of pieces in a suitcase somewhere.
And they're actually saying that on the news. That bit of truth that they're saying, and I'm sure he does. I mean,
yeah, bro. Look at all the people he's poisoned over the years.
Him and the Seas should hang out more, because I know they're doing the same shit.
Who?
The Seas.
Oh, Seas?
Yeah. We'll just keep it at that. Yeah. Putin's been running that since '99.
Really?
Fucking 99.
Yeah.
He got in over that guy put him in. He had like a little bit of a not a vacation.
Long, man.
Yeah, 99.
He's an old KGB guy. Yeah. He's a bad guy, man. But you know what too? Like And the reason why you're seeing a lot of the shelling on these civilian places, and this is what he's going to say, is that as soon as Zelensky armed the civilians, they became militant combatants, and that's why he's shelling these civilian locations, because as soon as he armed them, they became soldiers, and that's where they're staying, is in these places, and they became army barracks, is what he thinks.
But take
so
emotion out of that.
He feels like he has every right to do that, because now if I don't take these people out that he's armed with AK-47s, they're going to kill Russian soldiers, so we got to take them all out. That's what he's using as his reasoning as to why he's bombing civilian targets.
But if you take emotion out of it, no emotion.
Yeah.
You're not for U.S., you're not for Russia, you're just the guy looking at this. And I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? Wouldn't a civilian with a machine gun, wouldn't that be a threat?
Of course. Anybody with a gun.
So then if he's bombing a place with a bunch of civilians with AKs and machine guns, they're no longer civilians, they're a threat. It's war.
That's what he's viewing them.
But I mean,
and he's not wrong.
Yeah,
they're gonna. If you allow them to kill Russian soldiers, that's what they're gonna do. I would too.
Right.
I mean, they have guns for a reason.
So is he really hitting civilians, or is he hitting civilians that are armed?
Mm.
That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
And then
he's hitting civilians that are armed, but a lot of civilians that maternity ward that he hit with those where he killed pregnant women and babies. Those weren't civilians that were armed. And he even wrote outside children in huge letters so that people can see if they were dropping bombs. Sure. There's children in here.
I just, again, I'm not for the guy to always fucking hassle.
Yeah.
I'm just having conversation, playing
Sure.
devil's advocate.
It's war, man.
But there was only 9 people in there.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was a base that was next to it. It was like 2 or 3 miles to the right of it. There was a base.
Yeah.
It wasn't in a power plant or something to power. I don't think he meant to hit that.
Why would he want to do that? Like, what purpose would he? Listen, man, first off, every missile, he needs every one of them that he has. He doesn't have an unlimited stockpile of missiles.
Yeah, they were saying that.
He needs the missiles that he has to hit targets that he needs taken out, not maternity wards. But, not for nothing, like, how many civilians did Obama kill with drone strikes? Didn't Joe Biden just kill a bunch of civilians when he said he was getting retribution for the 13 soldiers that were killed in Afghanistan? And then he drone striked an actual civilian contractor who was working for the U.S. and bringing humanitarian aid. He had him and his whole family in his car, and he just killed those people. But okay,
didn't even know that. That's how much. And I read the New York Post every day on the shitter.
Yeah.
And I watch TV. I like Tucker. Yes, Stuttering John. I do like Tucker. Yeah. And
he's awesome.
I do. I think and I like Jesse Walters a lot too.
Jesse Walters is awesome.
I think he's going to be the next one to come up. He's been working his way up. But I never. Did you see that anywhere? Mm-mm. You don't see that anywhere. That's 2 guys, and he's from TV and fucking.
It was on the news. Yeah. It was reported after the fact, though. But obviously,
it was probably one time and done.
Correct. But that's what happened. So they were trying to make it seem like they got the guy that did the car bomb there. They didn't. They killed an innocent civilian.
Yeah. So what I saw was like, oh, Biden took out the guy.
Yeah. No, that guy's never been taken out.
But that's what I saw.
Yeah, I know. That's what they wanted you to say.
But back to this. So do you think Putin? Now they're going to blow this to the moon. Yeah. Do you really think he hit a fucking maternity? Why would he do that? There's 9 fucking people in there. I think he was trying to hit the power base. That's what you would want to hit.
Like, obviously, I don't think that he was trying to do that, right? Like, I don't.
Not that we like to.
I don't want to think that there's a human being alive that would target a maternity ward.
I don't.
No matter how bad the worst Muslim jihadist that hates Americans, like, I would even think that they would have a hard time. But you know what? I take that back. They want it. You know what I'm saying? Them and the cartel members, they literally don't give a single shit.
But when he hit that maternity ward, it wasn't as bad as it is right now.
No.
You know what I mean? When he hit that, it was like, it was at that point where it was like, this is going on 2 weeks now, or whatever it may be. It's just my belief. I'm not sticking up for the fucking guy. I'm just saying, and then with the missile not having many, what would it be? A big, I hit a maternity ward, I'm a bigger asshole than you already think I am. Okay, everybody hates him as it is.
Yeah.
You hit the power thing, now you made a statement.
Sure. You know? I mean, and obviously right now, all he's doing is indiscriminately shelling city after city after city. Just literally blowing every single thing up that he can at this point. Because you know what? When you start blowing buildings up, apartment buildings that people are living in, you know what they do? If they're not dead, they leave.
Yeah.
And that's what he needs them to do. He needs them to leave because he can't send troops in the cities full of people, because those people will throw Molotov cocktails down on their soldiers and shoot at them from perched up positions, and just be complete and total savages towards these guys, as they should.
Yeah,
The civilians living there.
He's going to have to go all airstrike.
That's what he's doing. He's literally shelling these cities until there's no more people for him. When he drives through, there's nobody throwing Molotov cocktails at his guys because there's nothing left. And he didn't want to do that from the beginning because now he has to rebuild everything.
Right. That's what I kept saying.
And he doesn't have the money to do that, or maybe he does with China.
When I was having a conversation with other people, they looked at me like I was all fucked up probably, and that I don't know, whatever. I don't think he ever was trying to hit civilian places. I think he might have tried to hit one or two early as a message, like, hey, I'm coming, leave, maybe. But all the shit that he's blowing up, I don't think he's trying to, because he has to rebuild it. He's got to pay to rebuild it.
Well, I think
he's just
Maybe
off
just
the
destruction, though. Straight destruction.
Well, that's what it is.
But I think initially he wasn't. I think now, now it's just fucking.
Initially, he thought he was going to come in there because his intel told him that they were just going to wave the white flag and be ready to go and become Russians, and he's going to be able to put a puppet government in there and then control the puppet government, right? And then have things done the way he wants them, etc. And obviously he was wrong on that. And now he can't just stop. Nope. He has to keep going. He's too far gone at this point. He can't stop and then go back to normal life being the leader of Russia.
No.
He's going to be held accountable for war crimes, and eventually some people are going to come for him, right? So like, he has no turning back. It's my belief. This is strictly my opinion. He has no turning back for him at this point. He has no choice but to shell these cities to death and just go complete destruction, because that's the only way going forward that he can send his troops in. Because if he doesn't do that, he's sending them literally into a buzzsaw. You're talking about thousands and tens of thousands of pissed off, hungry, haven't eaten and slept. Then maybe their family is dead. Their kid, like, imagine as savage as you could possibly be times 50,000 people that are that pissed off, that will literally do anything they possibly can to make you retreat out of their city. Like, that's hard to beat, man. I don't give a shit what kind of tanks you have. So you have to take the buildings out.
His own people, but they stopped that real quick.
Well, you saw what he said.
Yeah, but you're going to get tortured and killed.
We're going to send them people for you, and then that's going to be it.
Well, and very few have actual TV. The old people are still watching the Russian television. The younger generation might get a little bit of a glimpse on Wi-Fi, but he's pretty much got everything blocked.
True dictator fashion, man. He's doing what evil dictators do. He's censoring the people from hearing what's really going on in the world, and he's lying to the people, telling them that the Ukrainians are Nazis, and that we're cleansing these people, and we need to reunite Russia to save Ukraine. With Ukraine, we need to go back, and it's like North Korea, man. They only know what they're told.
Yeah,
they're not allowed to leave the country. These people don't have any idea. Like, there's people in North Korea literally don't even know that there's like a TV. Like, there's like real shows and like a life. Like, there's coffee.
Yeah,
like
you can actually start your own business type of shit. Right?
Literally, there's people that don't know how to feel love.
I know.
That's how controlled they've been their whole life. They'll turn on their own sibling. A mother will turn in the son. If the mom finds out the son's speaking out against Kim Jong-un, the mom will turn their own son in. Like, they don't even, they're so brainwashed, they don't even feel family love.
And you can't blame the mother, you can't blame the father or the son, because that's all they know. That's all they know. If anything, you should feel bad for them.
It's horrible.
You should feel bad for them, because they're probably good people.
That's what they're trying to do. And have you ever met a good Russian before? I have. I've met Russians that are awesome. Great people, right?
Great people would take the shirt off your back for
Sure. So, and there's plenty of those people that live in Russia, but right now they're just getting fed line after line of bullshit. And pretty soon, after you continue to push the lie, it becomes a reality for people. They just believe it, and they want to live their life, and they don't want the Gestapo to show up and kill their kids or something crazy. And that's what he's basically telling you.
And even if he does either flatten Ukraine or makes a deal where he has the West and what's his name can keep part of it.
Yeah.
If he negotiates that. That even a bigger problem than that is then getting people to be receptive to him being there. He would need, they did the math today, not on fucking Google or TV.
Yeah.
He would need at minimum 500,000 Russians there to even begin to populate it. Okay, now, if you already have a pile that are protesting in front of, whatever, what's he got, a Capitol or whatever he has.
St. Petersburg, I think it is.
Yeah, wherever it's at. He had, until he started torturing him and killing him, he had thousands of people protesting, right?
Locked them all up.
So that's going to be a whole nother battle for him in itself, assuming that it's just not completely flattened. But then even if he does flatten it, which I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah,
but,
he's locking up protesters, like they were January 6th people.
And then how's he going to, he's going to basically have to threaten them with fear to get 500K people over there. And that was just a guess. They probably need more than that.
It's never going to happen, man. The Ukrainian people are never going to look at that country as anything other than Ukraine, and they're never going to stop fighting. He's in a full-on insurgency that will never end. It's never going to end. That's why we left Afghanistan.
The Middle East.
It's never going to end. Those people are every day. People are going to throw Molotov cocktails at soldiers every single day. It's never going to end.
So his only real option then is either flatten it completely, right, or make a deal and stay away from. What is the? He's not. Where's
Crimea?
Crimea. That's the big one.
You remember
right?
that deal? Oh yeah. Well, annex Crimea. Yeah. I'm good now. And then next thing you know, we're taking over an entire country.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They had a deal. And you remember when they had a deal when Ukraine gave up its nukes? Ukraine had nukes.
They had more. They were the biggest.
They gave them up.
Yeah.
And now look what's happening.
Well, they gave them up, but they were also
in a deal with Russia.
Yeah, but they were also doing a lot of crooked shit, so.
Hey, man, you never give up your nukes.
Well, that was their fault.
FYI, any countries that might be listening to this, if you have nukes, you never give up your nukes.
Nothing again. What's happening with them should not be happening. And
it wouldn't be if they had nukes.
Well, if their country wouldn't have been so corrupt, they would be part of NATO probably, and they wouldn't have this problem to begin with.
Yeah, and it's funny how that corruption works, when 10% is going to the big guy.
Yeah.
When you have the highest levels of government in the United States helping corrupt your country, but then in the same breath, they're saying, you guys got to fix this corruption. But here's my son, is most corrupt person in Ukraine.
Right. Yeah, and he is.
You know what I'm saying? 10% for the big guy.
Did you see the thing by Judge Judy or whatever? She had 3 hours on who is Hunter Biden.
No.
Oh, yeah, or not 3 hours. It's 3 episodes. They're like 20 minutes each.
Yeah.
It's all the text and shit.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's his kid, not that he answers his kid, but I'll tell you what, that kid went. This podcast is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go to www.expressvpn.com, use code MSCS, and get 20% off your order.
VPN is a power tool for your devices that enhances the internet. With it, you can do 3 really cool things. 1. Watch movies and TV from any of your devices, fast and securely. 2. You can use parts of the internet that are blocked in certain countries. 3. You can keep your internet traffic private, even when you're on an unsecured public network.
That's www.expressvpn.com. Use the code MSCS at checkout and get 20% off your order. Yeah. Lost his sister. Who did he lose? His sister? Brother. His dad basically told him to go fuck himself. He's a bum. Shit. The shit that kid's been through, man. And that's not him. That's his dad.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to blame the kid. Well, the kid didn't just fucking wake up all fucked up like that.
But what about all the people that are fucked up that don't do that stuff? It's personal responsibility.
It is.
And he has none. And that's the problem, is that Hunter Biden has no idea what personal responsibility means.
And why
is
that?
He's a spoiled, rich kid that grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth, was never told no, was never disciplined, was never, ever told, you can't do this.
So who does that blame go on?
Of course the parents. And
right.
I've said it from day one with Joe Biden. How can you elect this man to be the president of the United States? Have you ever seen him on a podium with his kids?
Never.
Or his grandkids?
Never.
My greatest success and my greatest joy in my life is my kids. If I was ever running for office, I'd have my kids with me everywhere I went. That's who I am, right? You're running for the president of the United States. You never seen him with his kids, talking about his kids, bragging about how awesome they were. He only talks about the fact that his son died from cancer, and that's all he talks about. He has a ton of grandkids. Where the hell are they? Not with him. Not on the
I've never
campaign
even heard
trail.
him mention. I
Where
believe it
are
was his
Trump's
daughter.
kids, though?
Yeah, always there.
That's weird. Why is that? Though?
Right. What I'm saying is, I agree with you that Biden, Hunter's a piece of shit, but there's a reason he's a piece of shit. And you said, yeah, well, why aren't other kids? Well, the other kids that weren't given that silver spoon, even if they had it to be given to them.
Yeah.
Their parents, like I mentioned, Grant, who was in here, his parents are loaded, but they made him work for everything he got. They're pushing him to get his MBA. They made him work at Polo. They didn't just say, here's $1 gazillion because we have it. Go find. No, you work. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
JB didn't do
never
that.
Hell
No.
no. JB was never home.
He neglected the fuck out of him.
Of course he did.
And put him down and everything else.
He chose government politics over raising a solid family.
Shouldn't have done that.
Hey, it is what it is, and he's paying a steep price for it now, right? But he's the president of the United States,
Yeah.
right? His kid, the laptop is real, confirmed.
You got to watch that.
How is this guy not in jail?
The guy that found the laptop shows
His
it
life
all.
is ruined.
All the text, everything, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And Hunter's life is ruined because of his father.
Oh, there's no doubt. And
Period.
what about the guy that had the laptop at his shop? His life is ruined.
Yeah.
Right?
His
No one
life-
talks about his life being ruined. Trust me, one thing Hunter Biden is going to be is okay.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's snorting Parmesan cheese off a ground, and he's a multimillionaire getting $1 million from the Chinese every single day of the
Hey.
week, and he still hasn't divested any of his shares in the Chinese
Keep
company.
blowing them lines in front of Daddy for me, will you?
Bro. And
Right.
I mean, this is a guy that had pictures of underage women.
Oh, we got to play this. Play
Oh,
this, Rob. Play the sound. Or not playing. I thought there was sound to it, but there's no audio. Oh, at the bottom, the very bottom, Rob.
The sound makes it. Brian Stelter, all the CNN guys.
So if you're listening, it's Hunter's laptop ducking and dodging every political person on the planet and news station.
Bloomberg. That's just great, man, because it's the truth.
There's the Facebook guys ducking and dodging, Don Lemon, all of them.
Snopes.
Yeah.
What a joke Snopes is. But just imagine for a second, replace Hunter Biden and enter Don Jr. Make him Hunter Biden. What's going on right now?
Oh,
Don
boy.
If what Hunter Biden has done up to this point, and then you just switch the names, what do you think Don Jr. is right now?
I think he's probably got 50 indictments, 50 counts hanging
At
over his
least,
head. At
bro.
least 50, and then ongoing investigation. You know, I would say probably out on bail while they pile more.
Yeah, I
bullshit
mean, they
on.
spied on his campaign.
Money laundering.
Cameras, the fake Russian
They would hit-
dossier.
There's
They
10 years for money laundering, maybe 20 in the millions. So, yeah, he would be 0 to 20. No,
I've never
10
seen anything like it, man.
And nothing
A
happens.
totally two-tiered justice system where the elites just
This
they
is
stay
the
elite,
fucking
man.
problem with this blue and red shit.
Yeah, man.
It shouldn't be blue and red, in my opinion. It should
You're
just
Americans.
be, look, go in, and whoever you like, you vote for.
Yeah.
That cuts all that red shit, blue shit, and then maybe whoever the hell is in that has a good idea that you and I agree on, and Rob, fuck everybody else. If we agree on it, fuck them, right?
Yeah.
It can get passed. But the way it is now, it's just this, the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
It just goes on. So now if Trump runs in 24, he wins, hamster wheel again, unless he has the House and the Senate, which
Trump
it looks like
wins.
he's going to.
When he wins, it's going to be drill, baby, drill. And I can't wait to go back to $1.98 diesel.
I can't wait to go to fucking $3.97 for fucking super. I'm cool with that. When we're hitting the 5s and the 6s and the 7s, god damn. And I want my Diet Sprite back.
This guy's
I can't get Sprite Zero.
You can't?
Well, now I can, but for months I couldn't.
It's probably better that way for you, though.
You know, none of this shit is on the border.
Bro,
I believe that shit.
none of this
You,
what?
you told me it wasn't.
What?
That, like they were saying about the food shortages and the gas. We're not low on gas, and we're not out of fuel.
We have more fuel than we know what to do with.
Groceries. This is all set up to what they want to feed their agenda.
Yeah, man. Everything
You
is
told me that.
agenda
I was
based.
just letting you know that you were right.
Yeah,
I really thought that shit was on the border or like in the boats. It's not.
nothing, bro.
It's all on purpose. It's all their strategy.
Yeah,
to get
man.
what they want. Greener. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
blah.
Let's get rid of. Let's stop drilling and getting oil from the United States. Let's buy it from Venezuela, who's going to drill for the oil the absolute cheapest worst possible way for the environment that you possibly can do, that's the way they're going to do it. And every other country like Saudi Arabia and all these other Russia, you think Russia gives a single shit about the environment? They do not. They care about money. They're going to drill in the most cost-effective way for them without a shit given to the environment, right? But here we are. We're still going to use the same amount of oil. That's not going to change. So why would we not drill in the United States where we know we're doing it in the best possible way for the environment that can possibly be done? We're doing it that way.
You know why? Because somebody gave him money. Somebody gave him a kick. Somebody gave him that part of that $18 million for that $18 million mansion that's paid off. Okay. And within that deal, whoever the fuck, who's the big guy with the green shit?
10% for the big guy?
Bob Dole?
Oh, no.
Who's the one that came up with this green shit? He was with Bush.
Oh, yeah. Al Gore.
Al Gore. He's a real cox. Is that who it is?
Gore stuff.
I actually liked Al Gore.
Yeah, remember when he came out with that movie, An Inconvenient Truth?
Nah, it was a...
Wasn't that it?
No. Who's the
John
big...
Kerry?
No, I think it's Gates. I think it's Bill Gates. I think it's Bill Gates.
It's all of them.
Really
It's a
pushing
cabal.
the green. Or cabal. It's a cult. Whatever the fuck.
Bro,
it
it's
is.
all of those guys, man.
And the batteries are worse than the oil anyway.
Oh, come
It goes
on,
in the
man.
ground. You know it. I know it.
Bro,
Come on.
we have people talking about we got to eat less meat so there's less cows, right? But we're putting trash into the dirt still. So, I mean, come
You
on.
mean lithium? We're talking when it
Everything.
comes to electric cars, it's lithium.
Yeah, I know. When
They
those
kill the
batteries
plants.
can't be used anymore,
Yeah.
where do they go?
The ground that then gets grown initially into the plants that the animals eat that go
And
into you.
and it's called leachate.
And
And
then
the
it-
juice that flows
Right.
down to the ground,
Mhm.
and they inject the leachate deep,
Yeah.
deep into the earth for it to just, I don't know, do whatever the hell it does down there.
You know, like Freon in your air conditioning?
Yeah.
It's almost like Freon. It never is destroyed.
Nope. And that's the thing with the solar panels too, is they have a shelf life.
Yeah.
And once that shelf life is done, they're going to the landfill.
I know. When I had the engineering firm, solar panels were a big thing at the time. These guys would have like fucking tens of $millions of houses and put
Yeah.
solar panel and ruin the roof. You ever see that with your drone?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they spend $20 million on a house, beautiful house.
And the insurance won't cover apparently if
No,
it does
that-
anything to your
No,
roof.
and they would call and they would want
Yeah.
literally fucking, and it made it look like shit.
Burn your
And you're like, bro, so let me get this straight. I'm going to put these panels on my roof. And if the power goes out, like say there's a worldwide blackout, something happens, I can't just use the power from the solar panels to just run my house all the time. I can't do that. They're like, no, you have to store the electricity. Well, then why would I want solar panels for?
Well, believe it or not,
For what reason? If I can't go 3 months just running off, if there's an attack on the grid and there's no electricity, I can't just use my solar panels to run my house for 3 months.
No.
Then fuck it, I don't want them, bro. Put a gas tank in the ground, a propane tank. I'll run my whole house off a backup diesel generator, and I'll have everything.
after I had done a couple of the solar panels, kindly, I was just asked.
Yeah.
And I'm talking I'm just thinking of three. One house was over 20, one was mid 10s, and then the other one was almost 30. And I just said, hey, well, why the solar panels? Like, well, what's up with the solar panels? Oh, well, when I break it down over a 10-year period, I save $30 a month in electric. And I was like, oh, wow, really? That's cool. Now, in Palm Beach Island, as you know, the lawn care alone must be $20,000 a fucking month because they got crazy code. The lawn care, these houses
paying $250,000 a year or more
for lawn care.
just for lawn care.
And these guys are dropping 100 grand, 150 grand on solar panels that ruin their roof,
Yeah.
right?
Roof
Save
starts
$30
leaking.
a fucking month or every 2 months. It was some crazy number.
And then you have this big eyesore on there.
yeah.
It's like our AC in here. It's
Yeah, it's like the AC.
74 degrees.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
says 62.
I'm starting to get the back of the knee sweat. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? When you get that
Yeah.
back of the knee sweat going.
Saving some money though by putting it at 74.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you put it at 74, then the bill will be probably like at least $3.75 less.
Well, I have it at 67, but the person that owns the
Yeah.
place, he must be putting it back up.
Yeah, he's
Maybe
like,
that's his cool
It's not
temperature.
67 degrees in here.
No.
He's like, bro, he's not paying for 67.
You're going to have a talk with your buddy Mike. He's the manager.
Yeah, Mike, come on, man. What are we? You trying to sweat us out here?
Yeah. Hey, he's trying to fill the place. Ain't
Come
going to
on.
happen this way.
Not if we're getting a sweat going.
Yeah.
Good thing I got my FJB hat on.
But at least we're not these guys. Play this missile. I'll sweat over
Hey,
this
honey,
shit.
what's for dinner?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking missile.
What the fuck?
That's amazing. Yep, there's a missile.
Look at the hole in the ceiling where it came down. Oh my god, dude,
And it
that's
didn't blow up.
insane.
So now what happened? That
dud.
just dropped from the sky, shot
dud.
up, down, and just then pop and just
Yeah.
Thankfully, nobody was by the oven.
It's like the firework you light and it never goes off. You're like, son of a bitch.
Honey, what was that? Did you drop something? Honey, come down here. You might want to see this.
No, it was a missile, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck.
that's like that thing looks like it's like 6 foot tall, man.
Play that other one. One of the bombies that he sent you. I mean, it's just, and you have all these on your.
Dude, go to my Instagram.
they're on his
If
Instagram,
you basically through my Instagram stories, you're watching the war in Ukraine like live.
It's under the other one, right?
Under my personal.
All the way to the right. Right there.
No, this is the Ukraine.
This is that Ukrainian page.
Yeah, just play one or two of these.
All right, hold on.
Look, I mean,
Look at this
that
shit.
middle one.
So right now, this is just, explain this, John, because
this, what it looks like is he's being towed.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like. A tank has been. I don't know what they're saying, obviously,
I
but
might be bringing it back to their.
go back to it. That's that's what they're doing.
On it, yeah.
That's a Ukrainian tank towing what looks to be a Russian MLRS, maybe. That looks like a multi-rocket launcher.
They're like, yes, we got another.
Look at that middle one. Is the
Right here?
pictures there? That is
yeah.
gnarly.
Now describe this for people that aren't.
That's it looks like a Mark III. That's like a machine gun, or Mark 19, a Mark III. Obviously that got roasted. And the Z's are
What's
Russians.
ZZ? That's Russian?
Yeah.
Jeez. And that's just a completely mangled.
And then there's photos that he scrolled by that are like literally of bodies being fried, but it says you have to see photo, but you don't want to see it.
Yeah, I know.
Go
back.
Go up on the search and search John Rourke.
Let me see that one right below it, though, Rob. I'm sorry, right there. Play that one. Yeah, right now we're watching.
Showing the drone.
So, yeah, this is the drone. Boom, boom. That's a drone just leveling. What are they hitting there, John?
I can't see because there's a glare from the light, but it looks like they're tanks.
They're just
They're just raining down.
Now, is that Ukraine dropping them?
Yeah. This is from the Ukrainian land forces. Yeah, this is their video of their. That's the Al-Bakarter drone is the name of that drone.
I think. Now, did we actually, or who, did they get more drones?
I don't know if they've got them yet, but we're sending them.
Because what's the issue? The issue is getting them there, right?
Yeah.
That was the issue because U.S. doesn't want to do it. But there was like 4 or 5 NATO countries today that said that they were going to step in and make some moves.
Well, Poland is obviously for good reason. They don't want Russian forces on their border in Ukraine now. They had that buffer there, and now that buffer, it looks like it's not going to be a buffer anymore. So Poland's worried like, hey, man, we're basically going to have Russia now on our border. We can't have that. So they're wanting to do everything they can. They want to send the MiG-29s over there, but we're not going to let that happen. They can't send their MiG-29s over unless we replace their MiG-29s with F-16s.
And we're not going to do that, right?
We're not going to do that because if we do that, they believe that that is an act of aggression and that they fear that Vladimir Putin might respond with a nuclear missile shot somewhere. So they, listen, man, I don't want to go to war with Russia, but I know that's where they're trying to take us because the only people that can stop this guy is either A, he's taken over Russia, he's taken over Ukraine, and that's just the way it's going to be going forward. Someone is going to take him out from inside, or we're going to have to end this because Ukraine's not going to end it, and he's not going to stop until someone stops him. He's a bully. He needs to get punched in the face. He has been punched in the face probably in a very long time. But I don't want to be the person to punch him in the face because I know what that means, man. Like we just got out of 20 years, with Afghanistan and when Iraq. These guys are not Russia. You know what I'm saying? So do you want that? I don't want I have a 12-year-old. 6 years from now, she can, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Over Ukraine?
No, absolutely not.
No.
And as we were talking before, in the 80s, the Soviet had already built the map that when they were at war before, excuse me, if the Soviets got taken out, they had shot something up there that no man is needed. It will shoot a nuke.
Yeah.
When the population gets down to a certain amount, it somehow tallies it. It's just very complicated when reading it. You have to read it. But they already developed it in the 80s, mid 80s. It's already up in space now. So it doesn't even need a man to hit it. So let's just say we nuked Russia, right? In the process of that would launch toward wherever it
100%
was directed to go. So that's already there. They already have it mapped out. They have our power grid mapped out.
Oh, 100%.
It's been mapped out. And every day they test it. They do tests on our power grid,
Yeah.
our satellites every single
Yep.
day. Russia does, China does, they all do.
Yeah.
So they know our weaknesses, they know our strengths.
No
now
doubt.
we can quick fix it, but then there's another weakness. You know what I mean? These guys, especially China, they're at the top, right?
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want that because he hits the power grid. You don't have time. Let's just say he sends a nuke. We're going at supersonic speed. It's not like before where you got time.
It would
You
get
don't
shot
have any
down.
time.
They would shoot that down.
If you catch it,
They would. It's immediate. As soon they know where every single nuclear site is that Russia has. They're monitoring every single movement of anybody coming and going out of all those facilities. The U.S. government knows where every fucking Russian submarine is, where every Russian nuclear missile is kept. They know everything. Trust
they
me.
would have seconds.
Well, they would.
Because if they get close enough,
They
and
would be- they would shoot down.
They don't need because it's so fast. It's not going to miss the target.
No, I understand that. It has an intercontinental ballistic missile, and it would be coming from over the North Pole, more than likely, right? There are several lines of defense before the United States that this missile would have to make it through, including not in the United States, right? So like in North Dakota, they have missile silos that are the last line of defense. If this nuke gets past all of these other lines of defense that are set up not only in Canada, in Greenland, and all these places, probably in Antarctica, I wouldn't doubt it if the United States government had something
Good place
there.
to put it there.
I know Russia has something there already.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, man. We cannot have that happen, man. We cannot go into a nuclear war with this country. Nukes cannot be fired off, man, because the world as we know it is completely different once that first nuke gets fired off, man. We're not talking about Nagasaki and Hiroshima type nukes.
Now everybody's going to hit it.
Right? So,
Yeah.
and guess who benefits the most out of a war with us in
China.
Russia? Yeah, they want that, obviously.
Right.
Right now, they're buying all Russia's cheap oil.
Yeah.
Whether they say they are or they're not.
They're just using Russia right
Correct.
now. for
If
what
we
they
go to
can.
war with Russia, where are we both countries buying everything from? China.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything. 70% of all antibiotics, I believe, are made in China.
Right.
And it's probably the same for Russia, I would imagine.
Probably. And also don't forget that, and by the way, that thing is called the dead hand or dead perimeter. I think it's called the dead hand. Might be called the dead perimeter. The thing that they got up there,
Yeah.
that anything we shoot would be shot down as well.
Yeah.
So it would just be a shooting war. We shoot them down, they shoot us down.
And
And where the fuck does it go when you shoot it down?
it explodes over the area in which wherever it
hits
was,
something, it just
is
doesn't
having nuclear
end it.
fallout. And the
Yeah.
hope would be that they could shoot it over the ocean or over an area where there's no one populated, like Greenland or Antarctica or somewhere up in the north.
So
would
the
be
radiation one. Fuck
yeah, there's not a population base. So if a nuke went off in North Greenland, that's obviously like the best case scenario would be over the ocean. But in a place where literally no one lives and it's just Arctic situation there, like, that's where there, would be, they don't want it over a population center because then you're literally having nuclear fallout, right? Like everything's raining down, right? Like that's the worst case scenario is like,
Do you think he goes to that? Like how desperate do you think he is right now? Like right now, how desperate he is?
I think
because he's got what's it, Ray from China? President of China's Ray?
Xi Jinping?
Xi. Yeah.
Xi Jinping, yeah.
The main guy.
Xi.
Right. What do you think's going on in his head right now? I know he's using Russia all he can. He's getting a discount in the oil because nobody else is buying
He loves it.
and goods. But at some point, there has to come a point where his country is being made look bad. And we all know how they are about how they look or are perceived.
Yeah.
How long do you think he puts up with Putin doing this? Because he's also wants to save their reputation as well.
Yeah. So as long as Joe Biden's in office, he will help Vladimir Putin and not
Yeah.
help us.
You told him to hold off on the Olympics, remember?
Yeah.
As long as Joe Biden's in office, and if Joe Biden got reelected, God forbid, it would continue. Joe Biden is weak. He knows he's weak, and he's going to just do whatever he wants.
He knows
And
he's got
that's
2 years to have his fun.
Xi is going to do whatever he wants whenever he wants to do it because he believes that he is the real superpower. He believes that he is the world's most important person, the world's leader. Like, he has Saudi Arabia now buying oil in the Chinese yuan.
What the fuck? That's crazy.
They're going to take
Well, it's not
over as
crazy,
the
it's
world's
good.
reserve currency.
Yeah, I know. I believe it.
Okay? Like, they want a war with Russia and the United States because that only helps them.
Yeah.
it makes their two superpowers weaker, and we have to buy everything from them, right? So they're getting cheap Russian oil. We're buying things at a crazy rate from them. So are Russia. The two, you know what I'm saying? Like, they love it, man. More, and then they're going to take Taiwan. We're not going to do anything about it, right? And then they're going to control all the semiconductors, all the microchips for every vehicle. Now China controls all of that.
So is it in Xi's benefit for this to go on longer? The longer, the better for him?
No, he's buying cheap oil, so I would imagine he loves that, right?
But what about his reputation, though?
I don't think...
You don't think he cares?
No.
You know,
not with Joe Biden in office.
I just mean in general, like how
the world perceives him?
world perceives him. I think he does.
Well, he has lots of money to make the world perceive him the way that he wants to be perceived. He controls Hollywood.
Shut down.
So Hollywood is he's gonna make Hollywood say, "Hey, you better make me look like a damn saint." Right. When you're making movies, when you're making commercials, you remember who I am and how much money I paid you. China always needs to look good in the eyes of Disney.
That chip shit is killing everybody except for Apple. They're all fucked. I can't even get the light that I want because of a chip. Yeah. The only one that's not suffering is Apple because they went to their own chip.
Yeah.
Kind of funny, though, that Apple just now decided... How long have we been hearing about Apple's chip? Years. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, they come out with the M1 chips.
Yeah.
And then the M1 Max. And now the Ultra. Now this is conspiracy, but it's just funny that now is when... Because they've been talking about it for 5 years. Is the best chip in the planet. Nothing is even close.
Listen, man. These tech companies, they hate you.
Oh, yeah.
They hate you. Mm-hmm. They hate me. They hate people that love America. And love talking about it and love being about it. They despise us, man. The tech companies, they love China. Like
would you give Apple a little bit of credit, though?
No.
At least they're stopping the tracking.
No, bullshit.
You think it's all bullshit?
Hell yeah.
In the code, it looks good.
They don't care about you. They care about their bottom line.
And their holders.
Period.
Yeah.
I mean, they are beholden to China, just like all of them are. Look how pathetic John Cena was, bro.
Yeah. He was bad.
Oh, all-American John Cena, world WWE superstar, freaking movie star, all-American, doing soldier movies, and apologizing to Xi in Mandarin because he's a little fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Pardon my language. I hate that dude.
Who showed us that the first time?
What a fucking communist
we don't
that
want
guy
to remember.
is.
Yeah.
What a communist, man. Pathetic human being. Groveling to Xi in Mandarin like he's so smart. Look how much I love China. I learned Mandarin, and I'm going to apologize and say Taiwan's not its own country when you know goddamn well. Yeah, you say the money sign. You don't think John Cena had enough money?
No.
When's it enough?
No, not for him.
30 million?
No.
100 million?
No.
Like, when is it?
Because half of that money probably came from China.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to fuck up.
But he was making money before China, before he was beholden to them. When is it enough to where you literally will turn your back on your country that you try to promote in all your wrestling and all these movies you do? Like, you're this big all-American guy, and he fits the part with the short haircut and the muscles and the whole act. He's a freaking communist piece of trash, man.
What I would say to him is, hey, buddy, yeah, China's paying you now, but America made you.
Yeah.
China wouldn't even have glanced at you if it wasn't for America.
You're damn right.
Right or wrong.
And they'll take you out in a second.
Hell
you think they care about you?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Go open a business without their permission. Go do something that they say is wrong that's okay here, and you don't know?
You'll be apologizing on national TV.
Apologize, you'll be dead.
Yeah.
And nobody will know where you're at, and nobody's going to come find you. What happens over there?
Listen, man, the greatest threat to the United States is China. And you know what? We open up military bases all over the world, but guess what? Eventually, those military bases go away. You know what China does? They open up Chinatowns everywhere. And you know what they do in those Chinatowns? They educate their kids in Mandarin. Yeah. And they send them to Chinese schools that are in Chinatown. And they tell them about how China's the best, and they take over government control, and they take over businesses with their money and their influence. And
how about every male has to go to military school?
And yeah.
Every male has to go to military school.
Think about this. When they're ready to take over, they have 100,000 people in every Chinatown in every major city in the United States.
Their fucking country's ready to go as far as male population, because every male in their country has gone through some type of military training. Yeah. Now they've made it even longer. So
that's all I got to say is you don't see Americatown in places throughout the world, do you?
We should.
Right? But that Americaton was military bases. But like even in Germany, they closed them all. Now they're scrambling to get back there and get these bases opened up because of Russian aggression.
John, we got to worry about going green and fucking
is that what we gotta worry about?
Insurance for the country and making sure the rich people pay for poor people so that businesses close and everything else. You know?
Gotta go green, of course, man. We'll just get the oil from another country that hates us. We'll spend our money with them, enrich them, give Iran money for oil instead of drilling the best way possible that is known to man. The most technologically advanced country in the world. We created the internet. We've sent man to the moon. You're telling me that the way that we drill for oil isn't the most beneficial way for the earth as possible? And we, if any, and our oil is better too. It's better quality oil. We're buying lower quality oil that's worse for the environment at a higher price, and we continually do it. And we're going to, Saudi Arabia won't even take Joe Biden's call. They won't take his call, but then they're buying oil from China with the Chinese currency, right?
And isn't China getting that oil from Russia that they're then reselling?
Yes. And so tell me this:
great.
if Iran invades Saudi Arabia, who's going to protect Saudi Arabia?
Who do you think?
The United States, right? Yet he won't even take the president of the United States phone call. But if Iran invaded their country, that'd be the first person he'd call. Would be Joe Biden. You got to send some soldiers over here, kind of like when we were over there in Desert Storm and in Operation Iraqi Freedom, right? They're our best friends then.
That tells you something. And again, I'm just for whoever's good. Yeah. Really, I am. But when they don't, when another country doesn't answer
the president of the United States phone call,
who supposedly is the biggest superpower that there is,
yes,
doesn't get the phone call answered, I don't think we're the superpower anymore as of now.
Like, what? You're not going to pick up for the president? Who?
No, they're not.
But that phone rings and it says Xi Jinping on it. He's like, oh, hello, Your Excellency. How's it going? What can I do to help you? How can I help you out?
Yeah, what can I
how may I serve
sanction you on? Yeah, how can I serve you is right.
Correct. And then he'll say, like Chick-fil-A, it's my pleasure.
Yeah. Chicken fried rice?
Yeah.
Chicken fried rice?
It's my pleasure.
So, but as of now, today, how desperate is Putin?
He's as desperate. We are closer, in my opinion, than we've ever been to a nuclear war with Russia than we are right now. We've never been closer.
Nuclear, cyber, or chemical? Which do you think is the most likely?
Cyber.
First, cyber?
Yeah. I think that we're going to experience a cyber attack at some point in the next, probably, my opinion, 3 months, maybe less. I would say some point here in the near future, we're going to experience a serious cyber attack. So if you're listening out there, and this goes for you guys too, man, go to Costco, buy yourself, 100, 200 pounds of rice. It's not that expensive. You can buy it in the bag, get canned foods, get water, get toilet paper, start stocking up, man, because at some point they're going to hit a cyber attack that's going to take the grid down. There's going to be no electricity. People are going to be freaking out, running for the supermarkets. So you need to be able to, when something like that happens, bro, I don't need to leave my house. Let everybody else go crazy at the gas stations, go to the supermarket, shooting people, trampling people. I'm at home with all my guns, my ammo, my gas, my food. I have chickens. I have garden. I have everything I need, man. And it's coming, man.
Well,
cyber attack.
It's the cleanest way to do it, too. For them, it's the cleanest way to do it because they already have it mapped out. They already have it mapped out. They could do it in 2 seconds, and there's nothing we could do.
It's coming.
You cannot catch it quick enough because it's already set.
Bro, the infrastructure that's around our grid is horrible.
No. He could do it in 2 seconds, and there's nothing we could do.
And and this is why Joe Biden is tiptoeing around doing really anything. But it gets to a point to where I can only hear this motherfucker Putin say he's got nuclear weapons, and he ain't afraid to use them. Our president needs to say, hey, mother effer, I don't know if you know this or not, but we're the United States of America. We have nuclear weapons too, and we will blow your fucking country off the face of this earth if you even dare fire one of those fucking things off. Try me and see what happens. And if that's what has to happen, then that's what has to happen, because the way this guy is approaching this now with this hands-off approach and being such a pussy, it's getting people killed. All right? We're Americans. We are strong. We're the ones that won World War II and saved the world. And if he doesn't think World War III is right there, ready to go, it is. Like, this guy, Putin, is ready to go, man. He doesn't give a shit, obviously. Right? So
I don't think he does the nuke. Because I just don't see him doing that. Because the cyber he could do much cleaner with less risk.
He would do that first. Why would you go straight to the nuke? Like
that would be crazy, right?
No, like
that would be the last, I would think.
Yeah, that's your last resort. It's everyone's last resort.
What would be last? Nuke or chemical would be?
No, nuke.
Because chemical you could play dumb.
Chemical attack is something that you use in smaller cities and confined areas where there's lots of people, where you can chemical attacks really put the fear of God into people and obviously kill them. So people are more likely to leave an area if they know that they're going to be chemically attacked, because it's different. You can dodge bullets. You know, not everyone's got a gas mask.
Right.
You know, you got a bulletproof vest and a gun, and you can hide behind something. If he freaking drops chemical bombs on these civilian population centers, there's no hiding. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to get you eventually.
So what do you think? What would provoke Putin to do that? What do you think would happen that would provoke him to attack the United States with a cyber attack? Like, what do you think it would be that would provoke him enough to do that?
I think we're teetering. We're very close to it. I think if we would have sent those MiGs, I think we are going to get cyber attacked. I just think he's going to do it when it's most convenient for him to do it, and I think it's coming. My gut is telling me it is going to happen. I've been preparing myself for, since I'm a prepper. So I have everything I need right now. I don't need to go buy a single thing, and I can live with my family for years without ever having to go to a store or ever having to go do anything. Like, literally stay in my house and never leave if I wanted to for a long time. But I think people don't understand this, man. You got to get prepared. You have to, because this guy's a sick individual. He's literally bombing people indiscriminately, and it doesn't seem like he cares, man.
Yeah, to me now this is just my opinion. You know what I mean? Now I think he doesn't give a fuck within reason. I still think within reason. I think the cyber attack, I agree with you, but I think he'll do it when we make a move. In other words, like, we didn't move those jets. Okay.
Nope.
We didn't move the mortars or whatever, but eventually we're probably going to move something to try to help them, whatever it may be.
At some point,
when it's starting to get to, Ukraine has, 20 miles of anything left.
Yeah.
We'll probably do something. Hopefully not. Hopefully we just stay the fuck out of it. But hopefully we just stay the fuck out of it altogether.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's too late now.
Bro, what?
Us doing anything now is just going to hurt us.
Why
just fucking walk away and go to your green parties, right?
Listen, man. You know what? Not for nothing, too, but Ukraine got invaded in 2014 in Crimea. That's 8 years that they've had to prep for the eventual takeover of their country, which they all knew was happening, right? They had 8 years to stockpile weapons, to train civilians.
Possibly join NATO.
To do whatever it took to prevent this from happening, but they didn't do any of those things.
So stay the fuck out of it.
Right? So, like, I don't want Americans dying for Ukraine, man. And you know what? And I'm a human being, and I hate seeing what I'm seeing on all these videos that I'm sharing, right? It's disgusting. But I can't have America's treasure going over there and getting massacred for no goddamn reason.
I agree with it, and I hate it too when you say, well, how can you watch those people die? But you have to look at the whole situation. They were corrupt as fuck. They had an opportunity. They make it sound like, and you know this because I know you've read it.
They're steering us for war.
They make it sound like they gave up their nukes, poor them, we want to be in NATO now. But really, yeah, they gave up their nukes, but continued all other kinds of corrupt, really fucked up activity.
Oh, no doubt.
So then NATO wanted nothing to do with them. Now they're at war, and now it's like the dog, what is it, the calling wolf or whatever the thing is, you do this, you do that. Oh, now you have a problem.
Yeah.
Now NATO help us. Close the skies. Yeah, close the skies so that now we got a real fucking problem.
Close the skies means shooting down Russian fighter jets.
Means World War III.
That means that's it.
That means China and Russia versus whoever.
China,
along.
Russia, Iran, North Korea.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Versus United States and NATO.
I didn't realize North Korea too. So you would have
Venezuela. I mean, just any country that's Cuba.
You hear all this?
Any communist country, they're all in.
They're all in. Because that's China and Russia. So who the fuck?
You don't think Cuba's going to jump in if there's a war with Russia and the United States?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Russia's going to say, Cuba, you're joining in. That's the end of the story.
Or China says
and they're going to go, yes, sir. Reporting for duty.
Yes. So
we need your ports. We need your country That's it.
Agreed. The only way we stay out of this and nothing happens is that we stay out of this completely. No Arizona, no helping out, giving tools, nothing. Just go about your day and stop.
But you know what? The politicians of this country, they don't want that.
I know.
You know what they want.
Yeah, they want. They
war.
want two things.
They want war.
They want war or Putin taken out.
And you know,
a couple of them want to.
Oh, for sure.
And I have to give props to Lindsey Graham because he said the right thing. He said the right thing.
Take him out, right? This is the thing too: is the media is completely corrupt, as we know, right? So the best thing that's happened to these media companies it happened 29 days ago, right? Because every person's watching the news now to see what's going on in Ukraine and with Russia. They love it. Their ratings have never been higher. They're selling more ads than they've ever sold. And this is a coup for them because as it was going, it was like, all right, what are we going to report on? How bad Joe Biden is again today? All right, let's talk about another gaffe, another slip up where he called Kamala Harris the president again, or he called his wife Joe instead of Jill, or like whatever the hell he's, you know what I'm saying? Like now it's full bore 24/7. Every conservative talk show, all Sirius Radio, Fox,
everywhere,
headlines,
CNN.
Every CNN, MSNBC, it's full coverage. They got their generals out there. They got their retired Secretary of Defense out. Everyone, it's just all systems go, and they need that to stay that way.
How much they pay those guys, do you think, to be out there in Ukraine? That guy's on that same balcony every day. He's crazy.
Yeah.
At first, I thought that's got to be a fucking green
You
screen.
saw those ones that got killed.
Yeah.
The one guy got killed.
The journalist.
And the other journalist is still in the hospital, the Fox News guy.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay me enough. Fuck
Yeah.
that shit.
Trey Yingst is the guy's name.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. 100 grand?
That's fucking crazy. They must love
everything, all expenses paid. But, I mean, you know, the news anchors are all millionaires, obviously, multimillionaires. Like every single one of them's a millionaire.
Like the guy standing out on the porch right now is a millionaire?
No, not him, but all the news anchors. Like
the
Don
guy,
Lemon.
the guy in the air conditioning. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the guy
Not the camera guy.
Yeah.
Not the
I'm
camera
just saying,
guy.
but
not the camera.
Not the camera guy.
Hell no.
Not
He was
the
camera guy for Fox.
Exactly. So he knows all those people are wealthy and rich, and you know they need the news to be outlandish and crazy, and that's what people want to see. They want to see outlandish and crazy, and they tune in, and then they keep getting paid. So,
what do you think he's getting paid? That guy on the porch all the time?
I think probably.
I thought it was.
He's working for network.
160
right?
grand.
He's working for network.
120 grand.
120. I'd go 120. I'd say 120. Now the anchors, like he said, Don Lemon, forget about it.
He's making $5-6 million a year.
And he don't write nothing. He gets all his things written for him. He walks in. They go, here you go. Sir.
And he just looks left to right, left to right. Yeah.
Does that, and he throws in his little.
It was Fox and NBC you were camera guy for, right?
Locally,
yeah.
Local.
Yeah, man.
Not national.
It's Don Lemon loves, you know, put your face mask on, and then he's in Palm Beach with his boyfriend, no face mask on. You know how it is.
Didn't CNN get bought out? They got bought out by. They got bought out, and supposedly they're trying to make it even.
Oh yeah.
Did you see it?
Right. I'll believe it when I see it.
Can you Google that quick? Google CNN bought out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, CNN bought out. So now, how do you see this ending as far as Russia, Ukraine? Do you think he ends up flattening them, or do you think he makes a deal with the guy? You think he just flattens the whole
He's gonna
place?
flatten them. He's
completely
whole fucking
like
country's
that TV show.
City by city, block by block, door by door. That's what's going to happen for the next.
You think he gets the capital?
Many months. Yeah, 100%.
How long do you think? You said many months. What do you think the timetable is?
Months. Yeah. He's not going to. He's having a hard time taking Mariupol, and he needs Mariupol. He needs Mariupol.
He's
because
losing there right now.
I know, and they're reporting like, oh, he's about to take it. But these Ukrainians, I'll give them that, man. They are fighting their ass off, right? And for good reason. But he needs Mariupol because that's where he can flush the soldiers from Crimea right up the gut.
In the gut.
He needs it, man.
And I think something we should say, we're not saying anything about the Ukrainian people.
No, they're awesome.
It's their administration that fucked up,
Corrupt.
not the people. The people don't deserve this.
No,
it's the administration that fucked up.
Dude, what people do deserve?
I know, but you know how this
it's like
shit
it's man, it's
when
horrible.
people watch, then they think
It always works that way.
Listen, man, don't believe a single damn thing you see on the news.
Nothing.
It's all bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
It is, man. And I like a lot of the people on the news. There's a couple of people that I know personally who are good people, but the news is full of shit, man.
Oh,
They're selling ads.
yeah.
That's all they're doing, bro. It's a business. They run it like a business. They're paying these
And
these
it's a cutthroat
reporters.
business too. You know,
Very
just like when
cutthroat.
you go on.
Yeah.
You got 3 minutes to explain. You didn't even have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
What? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
with cuts in between of what you were doing. How can you explain something in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
It's after doing this now for a while. It's like, and then I have you in, like, how can, or like, or any of these guys, you know, how can you ask a very specific, detailed, emotional question and say, hey, I'm coming up on a hard break. You got 20 seconds. I know your friend just got shot and has no arm. Your other friend's dead and you didn't get any help. And you just pulled out 25 tons of trash from 2 places.
4, 3,
yeah.
2,
in
1.
20 we like you to close it out, Mr. Rourke. 20 seconds. We're on a hard break.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Out.
Spit it.
Like, what the fuck? I mean, how can you even answer
Get
that?
a story on that. You can't,
Yeah,
man. It's
it's
just
just-
nonsense. It's like snippets of what's going on, and they add a little extra in and spin it the way they want it to spin to fit the narrative. And that's why the censoring on social media is so bad. It's because not only do you not get the real news from the news, but then you have people that are being censored that are showing you real stories from real places around the United States, and those people get censored by social media
Right.
or by Google. So if you're an independent
That's-
journalist, you post a really good article that's the truth,
You're
Google
fucked.
is going to hide the article, and you're not going to ever going to see the light of day.
Google's going to hide it. Maybe somebody picks it up, then they interview you, but you only got 3 minutes. Even if they're trying to do the right thing, you only got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Then if you say, well, I only got 3 minutes and I'm going to go over to YouTube or social media, okay, you go to TikTok, you got 3 minutes and you better not say anything about China or they're going to knock it off.
Correct.
Because, you know, they're not China anymore, even though the code is 100% China. Or you go to YouTube, which you're not saying anything on there. So you have nowhere to go. So what these social media companies did by kicking in all these censors, all the censorship, was just push the fake news even better, even more.
Bro.
Because they would have died out.
Yeah.
All the news. And that goes for Fox
They
because
got
Fox
USA
went
Today as a fact checker. The USA Today is posted, fact check, and you click on it, and it's a USA Today.
That's one of the worst newspapers I've ever read.
I mean,
and I'm not talking politically. I'm talking sports-wise.
Oh, my God.
I
USA
fuck politics. I can't stand politics.
Bro, you have a newspaper fact checking people?
The USA
Snopes?
Today. Hey,
I
remember
mean,
in
come on,
Pennsylvania how we used to make fun of the USA Today on the picks for the sports?
Oh, yeah, terrible.
I mean, they can't even pick a fucking
They can't
football
pick their
game.
nose, man. They can't do anything right.
Like
They're
you
a
can't pick
mess.
the under over in like New England Patriots and fucking the Bengals when they were 0-31. The under over is probably going to be 31, and the Patriots are going to be all 31.
Correct.
Or 21 because they're going to pull Brady at
Horrible.
halftime. You know what I mean? And then the
Fact
USA
checking.
Today would be like +3.
You know, the
Fact checking. That's what they do.
What the fuck?
the news really like changed too when, you know, you remember, I don't know how many years ago it was now, but I remember Brian Williams when Brian Williams was like, I'm taking fire from
Coming off a helicopter,
right?
taking fire, emergency landing. None of that
And
happened.
everybody believes it, right? And right at first you're like, oh my God, that's incredible.
Because you wouldn't-
story. And then you find out it's fake, and then it just spiraled out of control from there. I mean, people,
And he's still on the news.
yeah, still there.
He's still reporting the news
Should-
to every one of
should
us.
not be.
But
Should
not to me, because fuck that guy. I don't listen to him.
Yeah,
He's a,
should be.
you know, like the senator. Oh God, I wish I knew what his name was. Lied about his service in Vietnam, but he's still a senator. Like
They get away with that.
people lying about their military service. Like where the
If I could just have gotten away with
the-
1% of the shit
that's
that they
just the
did.
word.
They-
And-
You gotta
but
be
they
in politics to do it, though.
They reelect these, bro. They just keep reelecting these people, man.
So look at this. John Malone says Warner Media Discovery getting rid of
CNN.
Yeah.
Under the agreement, AT&T will unwind its $85 billion acquisition of Time Warner, which closed CNN.
Click on that right there. Is CNN being bought out? Because they say how they're trying to make it approval closer to May.
Oh, just
Well, run by Discovery.
Huh.
So
Well, all these damn women watching this fucking ID channel.
they they posted a picture or a video of the guy that runs the branch that's taking over CNN from Discovery, and he didn't know he's being recorded, and he was basically saying something along the lines of like, we have to take this over so we can like, they can be real news. Like it's gotten so bad to where like they're literally reporting, you can not believe a
Yeah,
single
that's
thing.
what I read. I read the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
And then he was like, "Oh, actually, I didn't mean it that way. What I was saying is, but what had happened was, you know what I'm saying?
I
Nah,
hope
bro,
he does. I hope
you
he.
said it true.
I hope he does.
They're lying crooks. They're lying to every one of you.
They're lying, but you can have hope, right? You hope if they just be even, just be even.
Bro, just wear your
Just
mask.
one fucking even.
Just wear your mask. put this needle in your arm.
No mask,
Keep
no
going
nothing.
to work. That's
Just
it.
even. Just report the fucking news even.
No.
And nothing from Fanfucky, who says there's a number 2 coming now because nobody gives a shit what he has to say.
Oh my God.
That
Fauci.
fucking. I don't want to talk about him. What'd he say? What?
Fauci, he's back. You saw he's back. He showed his face
Oh
again.
yeah. Well, he
There's a new
says
one.
he says
There's
the
a new
new
one.
one's coming. You
We're
know,
not-
don't get too content now because another one's coming.
We might have to put these face masks on that
I think
literally do nothing
I
for
think
you.
they should have a contest and everybody can name the next one. That's
I think Fauci should be tarred and feathered and then pushed out in the street. And I think Fauci should get like what they're doing to the looters in Ukraine. Like someone should shrink wrap Fauci to a
Yeah, do
pole
you have that picture?
and then
Did
pull
you
their
send it?
pants down and spank him. That's what he
Where
needs.
was that on? I don't remember what I was on. Was that on?
No. Yeah, where's the picture of the guy with the saran wrap?
I have it on my phone.
Did you airdrop it to him?
I can.
Yeah, if you can.
I mean,
I'll talk to you.
it's not hard to do to pull up on Instagram too.
It's on
They're
your
all-
Instagram?
They're all over the
Was it on your Instagram?
sometimes it's in my stories. Hold on.
Just wait for him to airdrop it to you.
All right.
What do you think is going to happen, Rob?
With what?
Ukraine and Russia, while he looks that up.
I still, I mean, I said this a couple times ago, right? I still think somebody's going to take Putin out.
Before he takes it over?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard a lot of billionaires, these
They're not
oligarchs
happy. They're
are
not
are
happy.
ready to take him out.
They ain't happy. You lose money. Imagine that. Those billionaires. He's rich. He's probably one of the richest guys in the world too, right?
But, okay,
Yeah.
so they take out
Putin
these
is.
oligarch shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the richest men
Yeah,
in the world,
course.
if not the
He's
richest.
probably
Correct.
Bitcoin too, is what I.
So he is
100%.
behind Bitcoin. Yeah, he is. So he has all the money in the world. So he goes to his oligarchs. What'd you lose? $20 million boat? Here you go.
I don't know.
Well, it buys him time.
Yeah.
But you know what? Then again, you literally can't believe anything you hear on the news.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I mean, it's unfortunate, but you just can't because the news wants a war.
Yeah.
They want a never-ending war that they can talk about every single night, and that's what they want.
So hypothetically, those boats could have never been taken, and it just looks like they were taken to prep up. You don't know.
Hey,
you know,
you
that's
remember
how
when we
fucking
went
crazy
into
it is.
Iraq for weapons of mass destruction that
Yeah,
didn't
how'd
exist? Do
that
you remember
work
that
out?
little thing?
Yeah, I do. And there was nothing there, you mean?
No, I mean,
Nothing.
Nothing.
And took out Saddam, who they shouldn't have, because he at least had those people under control.
yeah. They put in someone and it's worse
Worse
than, it
than
was
him.
before.
Should have just let him in. He had him under control. He wasn't fucking with us.
Nope.
He was just doing his normal bullshit. Let him the fuck go.
And then that
but
opened
Bush
the
Senior-
door for the Patriot Act.
But Bush Senior, he had it under his belt that he wanted to get rid of Saddam. So then Bush Jr. had to finish off Daddy's work.
Even though tons of the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia,
Yeah,
but we buy oil from them.
but we made it. They made it look to believe of their agenda.
There's no way that the Saudi government could have had anything to do with that because normal jihadi terrorists learn how to fly jetliners on their own.
Is that right?
They'd fly a crop duster, and it's just like you could basically YouTube the rest from there.
Oh, so they learned how to hijack a big ass fucking plane.
Yeah, you know, and fly it into a building
And fly it into a massive
precision.
building with precision,
through a city.
with radar detecting.
No help from any kind of a government.
And they got that from a crop launcher.
Yeah, down in Belgrade, figured out how to fly a couple of those
makes
crop duster planes, and next thing you know, of course you can fly a 767.
See how fucked up it is?
It's
Both
that
sides.
easy.
Both fucking sides are so fucked up.
Like,
The blues
there's
fucked up. The reds are fucked
There's
up.
no way any kind of government would have trained maybe, someone how to fly a jetliner like that.
Oh,
Or
no.
no.
They were only here 4 fucking years, prepping for this shit. If you can't find it, don't worry about it.
I mean, it's where it is that these people put it in their stories, not on their posts. I'll find it. But what they're doing is they're shrink wrapping people to polls.
Yeah, I saw the
Looters,
picture of
yeah.
it,
So I mean, and good for them. These, you're literally fighting to save your country, and these scumbags are going through taking TVs and what are you doing, bro?
Okay, so you think eventually within the next 3 months, Ukraine's just dead zone.
I think there's going to be a cyber attack on the United States in the next 3 months, and I think Ukraine's going to get flattened.
What happens first?
Ukraine's going to get flattened. And if we do something to provoke a response from him, I think the response is going to be a major cyber attack.
But if we don't, then he wouldn't.
And then
He would have no reason to.
Yeah.
Not right now. He doesn't.
Not right now. Okay, so that's
a big card to pull out of your hat. Once you issue that cyber attack, there's no undoing it, and you have to deal with the repercussions that are going to come after that.
I don't
But
think
the problem is
I don't
that the
think he's gonna
repercussions
get
are going to be probably nothing because Joe Biden's our president.
Yeah, and I don't. Even though we were talking a couple minutes ago, how bad it's going to get when he flattens it. I think other NATO countries are going to step in, but I don't think we will. But then that leaves us in a fucked up position.
We can't
because
It's
we have
one
to
or all.
go along, right? So with NATO, if 5 are like, yeah, let's go, but the rest are no, we don't go. Everybody has to be.
If
Like, how does that vote go?
So let's just say Poland decided, hey, we're going to do this on our own. The deal with NATO is that if one's attacked, then we all are together. We fight again. It's the Rule 5 or something 5 is the law that basically states if one is attacked, then we all are attacked. So that's
so if he would hit Poland, which is
then
NATO,
we're going to war.
Everybody's going to war.
It's like as if he hit America. It's the same thing.
Okay, so we could probably both agree that he's going to take Ukraine one way or another, probably flatten it, because I don't think that president's given him anything, and I don't think Putin's going to negotiate to even give that guy an opportunity to have anything.
You got to understand something here, though, that if we go to war with Russia, we are going to absolutely destroy them.
But we're not going to go to war with Russia. It's going to be Russia and China.
Well, I hope.
In my opinion.
I think that you got to remember they're not Chinese. China's not dumb, right? So I believe at the same time, okay, they're going to take as much cheap oil as they can get and all the stuff. The wheat, they produce fertilizer, they produce wheat. Number one producer of fertilizer in the world is Russia. The number one producer of wheat is Russia and Ukraine.
The number one fertilizer?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The number one producer in the world of fertilizer. So that disrupts the global food chain. A lot of countries in Africa and China and all these places buy Russia's fertilizer, right? So there's a lot. There's just so much, but I think that so much going on. But I think that China looks at Russia as almost like a wounded dog that they're keeping around as long as they possibly can, and then we're going to wind up taking this wounded dog out. China also understands that by far it's not even close, the amount of business that we do with them as opposed to the amount of business that Russia does with them. I mean, it's not even close. Like the amount of money we spend in China, they would literally be committing suicide to their own country by trying to go to war with us or disrupt that global supply chain at all. Because if we start making our own stuff here and we start doing what we're doing with Trump called America First, and we start bringing manufacturing back and building cars in the United States and building microchips and all this stuff here, then we essentially are going to bankrupt China, right? The only reason China exists and is wealthy is because we allow it to happen. And now what's happened is through weakness, we've allowed them to grow and get bigger and stronger than us. And that's a problem, man. And it's a problem because we have weak leadership right now that won't hit back. So China looks at us as almost like a wounded dog too, with our do-nothing president who literally they're going to take Taiwan. He's not going to do anything.
But don't you think China is using Russia now? Okay, then Russia is done with Ukraine. They're definitely going to go after, what is it, Moldova?
Yeah.
The other one, that's not NATO. They're definitely going to take that. And I think there's one other one that isn't NATO. It's real small.
They're going to take all the countries they can that are not NATO countries.
Do you see him going after Poland? Do you think he makes that move?
No.
He's not that dumb.
No.
So I think China, after what you just said, is just using Russia for what they can get.
Yeah.
Play along with it, see how this goes.
They're not going to take one side or the other, but behind the scenes, they're helping Russia.
They're helping Russia, right? To an extent, right?
Yeah.
But not too far where it's obviously in your face, but we all know it.
What China should do is just say, listen, if you don't pull out of Ukraine, we're going to stop selling you anything. We're going to sanction you as well. But they're not going to do that because
do you think maybe
they're little buddies.
But if he pushes this on too long and doesn't flatten them soon, I think maybe he would say, look, Putin, you need to get this done. This is getting carried away.
You know how that would happen, right?
No.
It's called, we would sanction China and say, if you don't sanction Russia, we will sanction you.
And then China goes to Russia and says, get this the fuck done.
You need to get out of there because they're going to try and financially collapse our country.
Right, and we're not going to tolerate that.
But Joe Biden's our president. So
that
none of that of which I just said is going to actually happen.
So with that being
imagine
said,
what it would be like if it did.
Well, it would be a better outcome, right?
But that is definitely not going to happen.
Okay, so in your opinion, Russia ends up flattening Ukraine. They
100%.
take all of it. Then they take Moldova and whatever the other little one is. I forget what the name of it is. And then they're done. He's
and they
satisfied.
basically have Belarus, I think, already.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, they already have that, right?
Because they have a puppet government.
So they'll have Ukraine and then the other three. And then he's satisfied. He can take that as a win. And then he has the issue of getting Russian people over there to take it the fuck over, right? That's a whole nother story for another.
Dude,
we'll see how that rolls.
And I was talking about this with a couple of buddies who are still in the army, and like people don't understand, especially if you've never been in, man. Like we would massacre the Russians, bro. It wouldn't even be a fight. These guys are running out of fuel in Ukraine, getting stuck in fields. If we were taking over Ukraine would have been taken over in 72 hours.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, there's nothing.
Country taken over completely and totally. Russia's military gets a lot of props for being this big macho bunch of guys. They're a bunch of young tick-tocking people that don't know what the hell they're doing, that are weak-minded, that are young kids that literally have no fight in them. This isn't the old USSR. We're not watching Rocky. Like, this isn't these guys they show that are, what was the guy they fought in Rocky? The Russian? The
Russian with the blonde, what was his name?
Drago.
Yeah.
They try to make Russia out to seem like every soldier's freaking Drago. These guys are pussies. I watch all the videos.
But they didn't send the red hats in, though, right?
Dude.
What's the red hats compared to us?
Oh, come on, bro.
Is that like, are they even like on the Marine level, Army level, Navy level, National Guard level?
Listen, man, every country has their group of badasses that are equal to
our group of
group, but we just have way more of them.
What scares me also about Russia is they have the largest percentage of the space station.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Fucking deal. I think it's like 70-80% of it.
Yeah.
We don't have much of it.
And they're also negotiating. They're the lead negotiator on the Iran deal.
Right.
Which, we're not even in the room negotiating. You know that, right?
No, I know.
The United States of America is not even in the room negotiating this. Russia is speaking on behalf of the United States for this deal. Think about that.
What I see is
they want to build a nuclear. They want to enrich uranium. They want a deal where Russia helps Iran enrich uranium for electricity purposes for their country. The country that literally is floating on oil. They have more energy than they know what to do with, but they're going to build a nuclear plant for energy? Or are they going to actually build a plant, to build a nuke? Do you think that's more likely?
Yeah.
Or do you think they need a nuke plant? Literally, they swimming in oil, backstroking through crude.
No, they're going to.
That's how much oil
they're
have.
going to build.
And
they're probably going to build it in Ukraine.
How in the world?
What a better place to build it.
How in the world you could literally look at that and not think what I just said is
think like that.
Beyond me.
Because they watch the news all day and night.
Bro,
that's why.
The government knows. Joe Biden knows that they're not using this for nuclear energy. He knows that. But what is he doing, man?
Nothing.
What is he doing?
He just needs to stay doing that.
Why are we negotiating with terrorists? You know what you tell Iran what Trump did? It's called, we just took Soleimani out, his top guy. And we say
at dinner.
Then we
at
say
dinner.
yeah,
at
and then,
dinner.
and then
that was pretty bad. He just whispers in his ear, "Your guy's going, pal."
And then we send,
like, that?
and then he sends pictures of.
That's a power.
He sent a picture of the guy from the Taliban, Abdullah, of his house that he was in. And he's like, "Here's your house that you're in." So, any Americans die,
like Trump or not, you can't fucking say nothing about that.
You have to be that way.
You have to. Well,
this isn't the United States. You can't treat other countries' citizens as American citizens that think like Americans. Other countries think like fight through power. It's the man's in charge. There's no freaking women's rights in half these places. It's the man says what's going on. Okay, what the man says goes. That's the mentality in these other places. They laugh at us when they see Leah Thomas beating female swimmers by 38 seconds, and our people are cheering them on. These countries are like, these people are freaking nuts. Let me tell you something, Leah Thomas. In 100 years, when they dig up your grave, the person that digs it up is going to go, "Oh, that was a man."
Yeah.
Because that's what you are. And that's the end of the story, bro.
And
there's nothing you can do. Your
stop
bones. If a person digs it up that knows about that, and I don't know what the term of what a person, an archaeologist or whatever, right, for human, he digs your body up immediately without hesitation. At first glance, he takes a look. Oh, that's a man.
With 72 gold chains around his fucking neck with medals.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, he was really good.
Bro, what is going on in this world?
I don't know, bro.
People actually think
I stayed in my
men
house. I stay in my house, man.
Can have babies.
I don't know. I stay in my house.
Bro, they think that.
I go house to studio to house, and to accountant.
They asked the judge that the Supreme Court justice that they're trying to, get past to give me the definition of what a woman is. And she says, I can't. Oh, you're going to be the Supreme Court justice? You can't give me the definition of a woman? Like, bro.
Well,
Where
they're
are we
hitting
at?
her. They're hitting her hard as fuck because of what they did to Brett Kavanaugh. What they did to him, I watched that whole
Disgusting.
thing. That was the most disgusting, fucked up
he's
thing.
a gang rapist.
I've seen
Brett
so
Kavanaugh.
many fucked up things in my life. So many fucked up things. And that was the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. This is a spotless man in front of his family. You know it's bullshit. The broad couldn't even remember what she was told to say.
Yeah.
And you ruin that guy's life forever and his kid's life. And his little kids are going to have to live with that forever.
You know what's so crazy about
That's
that
so
is
fucked
all
up.
that guy's done his whole entire life is serve the people in his
There's
communities.
not one thing.
all he's ever
fucked
done.
up. And
Is worked for the country.
and again, I'm
they
for
destroyed
whoever
him.
is good. And what did they do with Kamala Harris when she went in? Oh, you're great. Meanwhile, this broad put away more black people than
Yeah.
anybody on the planet.
Yeah. Oh,
And somehow
yeah.
she's in there.
Yeah.
I guess she said she was going to give money out free or some shit.
Oh, right.
I guess that's racist now too.
Listen to me,
we'll
man.
probably be banned after this one.
Dude, it's just gotten to a point in this country to where it's like, maybe we need a fucking world war, man. Maybe people need to get drafted to see what it's really like.
My uncle was in the Marines. He said the worst mistake ever made was getting rid of the draft.
Yeah.
He said that. Years ago he told me that. Years ago. He's
Your
passed away.
uncle?
My uncle.
Sorry,
He
yeah,
passed
yeah.
away, but he said the worst thing this country ever did was get rid of the draft.
I agree with that.
Bro, sometimes there needs to be a reset. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand how good they have it because they've never been anywhere outside of their stupid little world that they're in. They don't understand there's people in other countries that would literally eat dog shit. Eat that dog shit and you can come over here. And they would pick up a pile of dog shit, put it in their mouth and swallow it. Like, that's how bad they want to get here. And people they don't understand how good it is here, bro. Like, I've been all over the world to the worst places literally that exist in this planet.
What's the worst place you've ever been?
The worst place I've ever been would have to be Macedonia in Bosnia during that war. That was when Slobodan Milosevic was ethnic cleansing people.
Oh,
That was the kids, drinking out of the rivers. It was really bad. Iraq was really bad. I mean, but
Iraq was really, really
oh,
bad.
dude, Iraq's just a disgusting, disgusting place. But Macedonia was bad because it wasn't the people of Macedonia or Bosnia like fighting Americans, right? Like, we were there on a peacekeeping mission. These people are getting ethnically cleansed like Hitler. You know, like
What are
literally
they doing?
mass burying people, like just shelling their buildings indiscriminately, just like they're doing in Ukraine. Like, when I was there wasn't a building that was upright that didn't have a piece of it missing. You know what I'm saying? People, little kids drinking out of rivers. Like, when I went back to the border, it immediately took me back to when I was in Macedonia, watching these people bathe their kids in the rivers, watching like it just,
Same shit, huh?
dude, it was crazy, man. Crazy. Like,
Where the hell's Macedonia?
it's in
Like, where's that near that I would know?
you know where Bosnia is? Bosnia Herzegovina. It's in the Ukraine and that area, Bulgaria.
Oh, Bulgaria? Okay,
Yeah,
it's kind of by there.
Oh, it's all in that. Yeah, it's all right in there. And it's a gorgeous place now. It's been completely rebuilt since then by, American contractors. Kellogg Brown Root,
Oh, great.
KBR, one of the big ones, obviously. Because
Meanwhile, we can't get chips over here.
no, but I mean, anyway, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's just people don't understand how good they have it here, and a lot of the reason is because they've never been anywhere else, right? And they've, like when I went to Baltimore, like, and I showed those videos and I put that on social media, people were like, "Oh my God, I didn't realize it was that bad there."
I didn't either.
And that's
Until
not
you came in.
It's not a knock against people. People are
No.
busy. I get it. But people also need to open up their eyes and be humble themselves and realize, like, this country is amazing, man. We have it so easy here. Like, it's so easy to just live here.
You
and
couldn't make it
do
to the
whatever
first
you
one?
want.
But Rob, when we go through his Instagram, you'll see a little bit. Like, I knew it was bad in Baltimore, running around there, certain places.
Number
but
one cop killing.
but I mean the filth, and then Texas was even worse.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Baltimore used to be nice.
What do you think about
I
a
want to
reset?
show you something.
What do you think about a reset? I mean, it's almost like we kind of do need it.
Well,
But I mean, it's like at what cost?
Mm.
You know, but
And it's like I talk to my kids and say the same thing. You guys don't know how good you have things. Like when it comes to even food, I didn't like chicken was disgusting. This was disgusting. I'm like, you know, kids in other countries would die for that food you have.
Yeah.
My kid said it to me today. Oh, that tacos we had last night were terrible. I said, do you understand kids in other countries what they would do for just a piece? Not even the full taco, just a piece
Yes.
of that. And it aggravates me as my kid. And I'm like, dude, you gotta wake up.
yeah, and part of that
But
too
that's-
is shouldn't they be teaching that a little bit in school?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they should be teaching in school.
I mean, fuck. You
Yeah,
know?
I have this guy that my wife actually sent me, his Instagram page. He was down on the border, and he filmed an area that was dirty. I've never seen an area as dirty as this. And I was underneath that bridge. That's how bad this area was.
All right, so we found the picture of the guy tied up in this saran wrap.
Yeah.
And then he's going to pull that up, and then can you elaborate on exactly what the hell is going on here?
These are people that were looting stores, obviously, in Ukraine, and these are civilians that are catching these guys, and then they're shrink wrapping them to poles, electrical poles. But a lot of them are getting their pants pulled down, and they're literally just like the civilians are like whipping the shit out of them with sticks and whatever pieces of wood. And then they put these signs on them. I'm assuming they say piece of shit or something on it. Like, I'm saying like looter or something to that nature. But some of these are just like, holy crap,
But they
man.
won't do that anymore.
So this is
And it's freezing out there.
So this is a Russian tied up in saran wrap, right?
No.
This is the Russian people tying up Ukraine people.
These are Ukrainians tying up fellow Ukrainians who, instead of trying to defend their country, decided that they're going to loot their fellow citizens' stores.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So the Ukrainians
these
are like,
people-
"What are you doing, bro? You're a male. You should be fighting the Russians, but you're in my cousin's supermarket stealing his food or money or whatever."
So this is Ukrainians
Yes.
stealing food from
Or whatever.
Ukrainian stores or whatever that the whole fucking country needs.
Looting,
And this is what they're doing.
looting and doing all that, and they're getting caught doing it, and that's what they're doing to them.
If I were you, I wouldn't. Do they like let them go or just leave
I
them
don't
there?
know.
My guess is they leave them there.
Figure it out,
I don't think
bro.
they got fucking time dodging missiles every 2 seconds to fucking
Hey,
cut
man.
them down.
It's plastic. You better start rocking back and forth, loosening that stuff up until you can
That
eventually
happens in-
wyour way out.
That happens in New York every day, but they don't do anything.
Well, if that saran wrap wasn't $900, it ain't coming. Right? Unless you got some really fucking high end.
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen anymore in New York because no one has shrink wrap in stock because of Joe Biden. But they can get it in Ukraine, apparently. They got
They
tons
get
of
it.
shrink wrap
Amazon
over there.
has it.
Yeah, can't get it here, though. I own a moving company. They're always out of shrink wrap, blankets, freaking, what do you know?
Yeah, just like you can't get trash wraps.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm paying $6 a gallon for diesel.
Yeah. What were you
Never
paying
mind.
before? What, three?
The lowest I've bought was $1.98.
When the fuck was that?
1988, maybe 2 years now, a year and a half.
Oh,
It
is
was
that long?
it was recent.
Wow.
I remember when diesel was less expensive than gas at one point. Diesel was cheaper, I'd never seen that before.
I just remember being in high school when Clinton was in. It was 97 cents.
Yeah.
I just remember going 97 cents.
Yeah, I remember that. The Happy in Jupiter, they used to have this gas station. The sign was just a smiley face. Old school Jupiter, so we would just call it Smiley Face gas station or Happy Face gas station. I remember it being 99 cents a gallon. When I first got to Florida, I'm like, wow, dude, gas under $1.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But you know what? Our boy almost had it down, man. He had it down there, man. What was it, like $1.60, $1.50? Like,
Yeah. Well, what was it at the best when Trump was in?
Low, well, not low, but below 2. I mean,
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
It
below two.
was high ones, low twos. Yeah.
Right? And I mean, wow, dude.
What a change.
What
huh?
this is a tax on the people, man, that we're paying. Not only are, inflation is probably really 10%. Like, so you're making 10% less, and now you're paying way more for fuel. It's just like you're just getting banged every which way you turn around. They're pulling money out of your pocket, and then they're getting on TV saying it's Vladimir Putin's fault.
No, it's not Vladimir Putin's
That's how
fault.
dumb everyone is.
Well, I'm
We're
dumb
gonna
too
get up
because
here
I
and
thought of it
say
at first too until I did my own research.
It's Vladimir Putin's fault. That's why inflation's high. Bro, inflation happened literally the day you took off.
But John, not everybody's like you. If you work 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 20
Sure.
hours a day and you put on the TV, you're tired. You're just trying to see what's going on.
Yeah.
You don't know it. You don't realize that.
Yeah.
But it's not. I thought it too. I thought it was Putin. It's not Putin.
Hell no.
They have all the oil in the world that they need. Like we said 2 hours
Yeah.
ago, they have all the food that they need. This is the strategy to get what they want.
Bro, it's crazy, man.
So what is your prediction? We don't know yet. So that will be the next time you come in because we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
And inflation. That's a whole nother fucking that's a whole podcast in itself. What do you see? What is your prediction with China and Taiwan? You already said that you think they're definitely going in.
Yeah.
No way fans or buts, they're gone.
I think I think what they're waiting for is America to get involved with Russia. And then once we're involved into that, then that would be the time that they would, pull the trigger on taking Taiwan because we're involved in a major conflict with Russia. We don't really have time to pay attention to Taiwan right now. We're in a freaking war with Russia. So that that would be a time that they would strike. I mean, wouldn't you strike then? Why would you strike now?
No.
When we're not in any conflicts. We've just pulled out of Afghanistan, okay? You would strike now because Joe Biden's president, right? But that's a big strike, right? Like, you can't just take Taiwan. We have to be entangled in some bullshit somewhere for us to be weak enough because of that where they can just flat out take it. There ain't a goddamn thing that's going to happen, right?
Well, now say we don't do anything. Say we stay out of the whole Russia thing. We never get involved. We just do what we're doing now, putting little sanctions on, fucking with the oligarchs that probably don't care yet. Maybe they do. Who the hell knows? Whatever. But if we don't get any more involved in that than we already are,
Yeah.
then what?
I think that they don't take.
They wait.
I think that they would. I think that they might wait. It really just it's a big take, man. Like, that infects the entire world. Everything that's made in Taiwan, like being all of a sudden being now controlled by China, and then this isn't like a battle that would just happen and then China would just walk in and take it over, and all the buildings would be standing, and all the factories that produce all these microchips and semiconductors, all of those places would be intact. Everything would be destroyed there. Taiwan has a military; they're going to fight back. It's going to be like a Ukrainian type thing. China, the only way China is going to win that is by just destroying Taiwan. They're not just going to give up.
And they'll do it quick.
So if that happens, then what happens to the global supply chains for all of these things that including China needs? It's a big, big risk for them. And I don't think if we don't get involved with Russia and we just stay out of it, I think that we're just, even with Joe Biden as president, I think that's too big of a move to make if we're not already involved with something else. But you know what? Joe Biden's a complete moron, so anything can happen at any time. You can't trust anything he says or does. And if I were Xi, I would take Taiwan.
I would too if I were.
And I would force the United States' hand to do something. And then if the United States did something, and if I was Putin, then I would go on full assault. And, But then it backs us into a corner. Now we have Putin, now we have China, now we're...
But if you're G and you would, why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't who?
You're saying you think that if we don't step in as the U.S. and help Ukraine, you don't think G will do it?
If we don't help Ukraine, I don't think he will.
But you're saying if you were G, you would do it either way.
Yes.
But you think he won't?
I don't think he will.
Because he's weighing out the economic effects of it, financial effects.
China plays the long game. That's what they're all about.
Well, you're an American. That's why you would jump the gun.
Yeah.
Right. So they'll wait another 100 years till the right time. They don't give a shit.
No.
Because they strike when it's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. We did say, though, that if China went after Taiwan, that we would get involved. So
I'm 100% with you.
We do also have, absolutely, our word is absolute dog shit around the world.
Yeah.
Right? Because, look what we did in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So how could any country trust that we are going to, back up what we say after we literally left Americans that are still there, still in Afghanistan, that we still haven't got out.
And we gave them $65 million in
85 billion in military equipment.
Billion. It's hard to
They
comprehend.
have a larger air
billion
force than Australia.
that we gave them. We gave it to them.
And you know what they're doing right now with all of that stuff?
Oh yeah,
They're selling
building
it.
selling it to somebody who's building a fucking arsenal.
780,000 rifles. They're selling those.
And you know that set the tone. That there alone set the tone for this administration. That set the tone for
100%.
Ukraine. That set the tone for China to think, maybe this is the time. But I'm with you. I think if the U.S. gets involved in any way, shape, or form, any little tiny bit, they take Taiwan. If they don't, he waits.
I think he waits.
It's better economically overall for him to wait and not have two massive destructions, and he looks like shit. Plus the economy issue that's already going to happen from Russia.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think people understand how important that space station is, being that they control all of the logistics.
Yeah.
We have no control over the logistics. We have like the back end. Like
Imagine
the back
being
end
an
that
astronaut up there.
like changes like a screw.
Yeah.
They have all of the smart shit is all them.
And you're detaching.
Who the fuck agreed to that is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're detaching.
Yeah.
Elon's holding
know.
his breath right now, trying to figure out a way to get something else up there.
You knew who agreed to that. Who ended NASA?
Clinton.
Mm.
Who? Wasn't Biden.
Obama.
Obama? Is that who did it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Clinton. Jesus. Why would he? Don't even get me started on that.
It is what it is, man. It's weakness. They took
You end
Georgia.
NASA when you see what's happening in the fucking world. You see AI and you end NASA? Are you fucking crazy? No wonder Elon Musk is going out of his mind. I didn't know that was Obama. Wow.
He did you also notice when Obama was president, Russia took Georgia?
Yeah.
When Biden was president, he took Crimea.
Yeah.
It's just, when Trump was president, they didn't take shit.
Well, remember,
because they know.
Remember, G saw how Biden acted when he was vice president with Obama. So, I mean, it's not like he doesn't know his moves.
Joe Biden is 100% completely and totally bought and paid for by China. He is 100% owned, completely and totally owned by them. They have all kinds of stuff on him. He's a very bad man.
I know.
You need to know this. He's not right. He's a sick guy.
I didn't realize how bad of a man he was until I watched that. Who is
Hunter Biden?
Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Because to me, this is my opinion. Hunter Biden is not the bad man. He's the what's it called when product of
an environment.
He's the product of his own environment. Yeah. Biden is the worst fucking father that ever fucking could live on the planet.
Yeah, man.
Not just because he doesn't bring him around. Just watch those 3 20-minute, only 20 minutes long, 20-minute episodes. Holy shit.
Google Joe Biden's daughter.
Yeah.
The one that's still alive. If most people don't even know he has a daughter that's still alive, Google her. She's a real treat.
No, I know. I don't want to bring his kids into it.
I know. He's Father of the Year. I get it.
No, it's not him. Fuck him.
Your number one job in this world is be a dad, man.
Well, obviously he doesn't see it that way.
He was not good at that.
No.
And you think he's going to be good at running the country. He can't even be good at being a dad. He didn't even care enough about his own goddamn kids. And this guy, you think he's going to care about your kids?
No, he beat his son down to the point where he went and did fucking crack because he thought he was worthless.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And he says that in a text message to whatever hooker he was banging. And he would have hookers over just to talk to him about basically the way his dad shunned him.
I know.
So.
And the other daughter, too. Like, if you read up on her, it's the same song and dance, man. Yeah. And it's tragic. But this is who that man really is.
It's reality, right?
The kids, the touching of the hair, the sniffing of the hair, the little kid weirdness, right? So you would be cool, and anyone out there, with just leaving your daughter all day with Joe Biden? Just him and Joe? Her and Joe all day? You're cool with that?
I wouldn't recommend it.
That's the president of the United States.
So now you're going to go to Arkansas, right? Arizona. Fucking Arkansas.
Yeah.
I was thinking Clinton.
I'll go there.
I was thinking
too.
how many people he dropped out of the sky.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to Arizona.
Yeah.
So tell me all about that. When are you going to go? You said June-ish you're thinking?
I'm gonna try and go out there in June to touch base with the sheriff out there and get a lay of the land and kind of see what he sees to have a better understanding of what it's like. So when we do go out there in September to do the cleanup, it's efficient and it's effective, and we know where we're going. We have everybody lined up. I partnered with the garbage company. I've partnered with the local municipalities. Everything's in place for the cleanup to go off without a hitch. And I suspect that just because of my previous cleanups, that this cleanup is going to be far bigger than the cleanup of 5 of us last time. There's probably going to be 500 or 5,000 people this time. I think that we're probably going to show up just from the people that live in that county alone. There's going to be just an insane amount of people. I already know. I'm going to do all the media run-ups and stuff with all the stations from, contacts that I've made from the previous cleanup, and see if I can, get on Newsmax, get on Fox and Friends, get on to promote the cleanup, to raise money and to raise awareness to these border towns that are literally being completely and totally decimated.
You got to start driving your boy Tucker nuts. Let him know what's coming, right?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I will be letting him know.
Yo, you know why he's going early? Because this time he wants to do the narking shit, the saving people. I don't know. Who would you save in the desert? I don't know. I guess dehydrated in a hole or something.
Oh,
you want to get all that shit out of the way first. That's why you're going fucking early.
Yeah.
Right? So then when you go to clean up, all the narking's done, all the pulling, stuck to a cactus or some shit.
Yeah, hung up on the wall.
Yeah. Or hung to a rock, or there's fucking volcanoes out there. Won't probably blow up when you're out there.
Dude, who the hell knows what's going to happen out there next? I always say this,
cool atmosphere to look at, though.
Crazier, the first one, and this one's crazier, and it's like nothing can be crazier than Del Rio. And then who the hell knows what I'm going to see when we go here.
Rob, you're pulling the guy off the cactus. I don't want the charge that I put him on the cactus.
Look at this video.
I'm just kidding.
This is in Yuma, Arizona, recently, a couple days ago.
Hypothetically.
Just came back down here to Yuma, Arizona. I've been down to this area many times, but I hate to say it, every single time I come, it gets worse. And this is absolutely
That's
the worst
Mexico,
I've ever
right
seen
behind
this
it.
section.
That's the
we just
Rio
came
Grande.
past a group of 50 to 60 men that were coming in that were basically told by Border Patrol. Border Patrol doesn't have the resources to deal with them. So they're just sitting there. They could simply walk into America. And that's what many of them are doing.
He's in Mexico right
Just
now?
walking
He's in America right now.
Oh, he's in America.
Behind
worst
him
part
was
here
the Rio.
is you can see
Watch this.
just an idea of the amount of people that are coming across
And he's got a bulletproof
by
vest
what's
on.
left behind. I've never seen it this bad.
So if you're listening, there's a guy walking through a bunch of trash. I mean, there's everything on the ground. What are you seeing there, John?
I mean, so this is what they call river cane, is what they're walking through. That's these, looks like sugar cane sticks that have all been completely flattened down, that have been walked over, and it's literally covered in clothes, garbage bags, bottles of water, food wrappers. I mean, and you haven't seen anything. When he look at this. So this is what I'm talking about. Look how much clothes is there. It literally looks like a landfill.
Yeah, it looks like a landfill of just clothing.
And this is in a
socks, water bottles, shirts, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, garbage bags. Most of it's clothes. Like I said, they get out of the river with wet clothes. They drop them, put on the clean ones, and roll.
Sneakers.
Yeah, wet sneakers, bras, underwear, diapers, you name it. It's all there, right?
So now you go out there, and how do you clean that up? You just shovel it the fuck up?
Pick it up by hand.
Just by hand.
Garbage bags and just start grabbing, filling up bags.
Well,
rakes, shovels.
Our immune system will be fucking strong when we get back from there. Right?
Dude, it is another world out there, man. And you know what sucks is there's people that live in these places that are good, hardworking Americans that are just getting absolutely destroyed every day, and there's not a goddamn thing they can do.
Arizona, like Phoenix, Arizona, have you ever been there?
Yeah.
It is so fucking peaceful.
Yeah, man.
I would be bored out of my mind living there, but to get away for a while, it is. I went to a Lakers game out there, and I went to the city, completely dead, bro. Completely dead. I mean, it's so peaceful, nice, whatever. And then that's right by the stadium.
Yeah.
Go, nobody's bugging you. It's hot, but like a different kind of hot. Good, big ass mountains everywhere. It's great.
It's great. I mean, I loved Arizona.
But until I met you, I would have never thought that this was there, nor would I have thought that was in Texas. I figured in Baltimore, but
this is an environmentally protected area here too, right? But where are all the people that are screaming, green this, green that? Oh, the environment. I didn't see a single environmentalist while I was down there cleaning up trash, right? And people think I'm the furthest thing from an environmentalist, right? I'm anti all that shit. You know why? Because I know it's complete and total bullshit, right? Why would an insurance company insure a $200-400 million building that's built on the water if they thought in 15 or 20 years it was going to be underwater? The answer is they would never do that, right? No one would spend $300 million to build a building that they thought in 10 years would be underwater, right? They wouldn't do that.
You know who said that? Basically verbatim.
What?
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He said that verbatim.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to understand. It's like follow the money. Do you think these insurance companies have smarter people working for them than, the government? The government has a bunch of dopes working for them, bureaucrats that don't know shit, that are just looking for a lifelong check from the government, right? And that they just say whatever they need to do to keep that check coming and those benefits, right? Like, let's talk about real scientists that are doing real research, that are getting paid real money by companies to tell me the truth. I need to know before I put this $500 million building on this piece of freaking land that 20 years from now, this son of a bitch isn't going to be floating in an ocean. I need the truth. Well, the truth is, sir, it's absolutely not going to happen. It's all bullshit. Build the building.
So
come on, man.
So Elon,
get out of here with that
Elon
shit.
was on Lex Friedman and basically said exactly what you said, including about the borders and everything else.
Yeah.
All of it. Because his idea with the battery power cars was not to turn America into battery power cars.
Yeah.
It was an alternative to fuel.
Sure.
It wasn't to change the world. He was using Tesla kind of as a basis for SpaceX.
Yeah.
That's really what it was, to see how far he could push the batteries to then add them possibly into the rockets and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It was never meant to go green. That was not his purpose or idea.
He's a conservative.
Yeah, he is. He sold all his houses.
He just came out and said that it's better to buy oil. Like, it's just, I mean, he just said that.
Because he just did it.
And he owns Tesla.
And he owns
right
Tesla.
now, it would be the smartest thing would be to just use oil, like use gas.
Right. He just made it as, and that's why, everybody bitches about him and the car's taking forever to get. It was never meant to be this massive thing.
Yeah.
It was meant to be an alternative vehicle, like a Ferrari.
Sure.
If you have 200K, 250K, you have a Ferrari.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to change for everyone to have a fucking Ferrari.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck about Tesla. He gives a fuck about SpaceX.
Yeah.
And building, when this shit happens like this, but on a bigger level, that civilization has somewhere the fuck to go.
Yeah.
Because, it's not going to end the world now, but at some point, it's going to.
Hey, you never freaking know.
And if a war doesn't, the sun's done in 500 million years or less, and we're done. It's expanding every day. And then it blows up and we blow up.
Yep.
So
a meteor could hit the earth and cause an ice age again.
that's another thing.
Hey, but guess what? We made it through an ice age, though, but we got to worry about all those cars, that Hyundai Excel, that Sonata's just spitting that stuff. We're never going to make it back from that.
Maybe the government might want to listen to probably the smartest fucking guy on the planet and worry about space.
Yeah.
Because just take a look at what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And look at how many people have cancer and are sick and all fucked up from all this processed food shit.
Yeah.
Maybe listen to the guy.
Yeah, man. Do you think it's weird that every other planet doesn't have anything on it?
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, right? Like,
And
it almost like, well, it's going to happen here sooner or later.
Yeah.
Look what happened to the other ones.
I had to think when you say that because Mars was in this rotation. Where we're at, Mars was at. Got hit, moved, everybody's dead.
So that's what I'm saying. Is
Mars was actually in our exact spot.
Common sense for me just says like all these planets at one time, I just feel like had something going on them, and then something happened, and for whatever reason we're the last planet standing that we know of.
We're just the one in this solar system.
We're surrounding every planet you look at is barren, and you're like, shit. When's that going to happen here? Like,
right. So I think a couple of them had life at one time, and then I think the other ones were necessary for the 3 or 4 that I believe had life. Because like Jupiter, you need.
Yeah.
Jupiter goes, we go. You need those rings for gravity. That's what keeps us in rotation and everything else. So I think a couple of them had life, and then the other ones were there in place, just lined up that way. I mean, the universe is fucking never begins and never ends, according to Beto. And
I'm starting to get weird.
Yeah,
it feels weird even talking about it. It's so crazy.
I study the fuck out of it, so I'm big. 2 things I'm huge with is anything medical.
Yeah.
And the universe.
Sure.
I study. I read Cox, Brian Cox, everything. I mean, just because I'm interested. If I'm not interested in something, I'm dumb as dirt.
How on a clear night, right? Could you not look up and see a million, stars and not go, Jesus, what? That's so crazy.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on up there, man?
Every star is a sun. There's a gazillion galaxies.
It's
Just watch Bob Lazar's documentary. I mean, of course there's other life out there. Of course there's other Earths.
Come on.
You got to be the dumbest guy on the planet. There's probably life in the Milky Way. We can't see it because of all the dust.
Dude.
There's a hell of a lot of planets in the Milky Way, homie.
I mean, it's just nuts to even think about.
I was calling you I shouldn't call you homie.
I'm
That
good.
might be some new shit too.
Hey, I'm good with that. The big homie. So the cleanup in Arizona, that's going to be like you saw that video.
Mhm.
That's like what it's like there, man. And like to go back to the people that live in these communities, they just get the short end of the stick 24/7, 365, man. Imagine like you don't have a choice. You're born there. Your dad's living there. He was a cop. You live there. Like you can't ever move because if you buy a house there, you can't sell it because no one's looking to buy your house from you. Like that lady I talked to, she's like, dude, I want to leave here, but the only way I can is if I walk away from my home, and then I got to try and repair my credit and go through that whole process. Like I can't do that. Like I've tried to sell my house, can't sell it. So now I just here and have to deal with thousands of people coming through my yard every year, shitting in my backyard, stealing all my stuff, breaking into my cars, just whatever. I wake up in the morning, there's 7 people sleeping on my patio. Like it never ends. And you can't call the police because the police are dealing with the 700 other people that just came across. Like crimes are being committed all over the cities. The police can't respond to them because they're bogged down with people crossing the border because there's not enough Border Patrol agents to stop the amount of people that are coming here. So the Border Patrol agents stop somebody, they're fucked for 3 hours because they got to pick them up, take them to wherever the base is, in-process them, drive back. In that time period, thousands of people are crossing in that time period when they know people literally wait. Oh, those people got caught. Border Patrol's leaving. They know. It's for the next 3 hours, 1 million people could literally cross through here and there's nothing anyone can do about it. And that's where the Del Rio police departments and the Val Verde County Sheriff's departments of the world have to come in and say, no, we're going to stop you now. And Texas DPS, the state police of Texas, who should be working on, catching drug dealers and crimes throughout the state, are now having to act as Border Patrol.
Put all their time over there.
And they're all away from their families on deployment, just like they would be in the military. You know what I'm saying? They're in a different part of Texas. So they're away from their kids all because the federal government can't just enforce the laws that are on the books and staff the Border Patrol to end this bullshit, this onslaught, this invasion of people that are coming into our country and are literally decimating our cities around the United States. And I know it's hard to say, like, these people that are coming here and working, right, and are picking crops and cutting grass and working in the restaurants, okay? Everyone's very appreciative of those people, right? Like I understand, I'm not a dumb guy. I understand that there's a lot of jobs that Americans don't want to do anymore, and we need these people, right? But that's not my job. I'm a civilian. I'm not a government official. Like the government needs to do a better job of figuring out a way to get workers that we desperately need here to do these jobs that people say that don't want to be done. But we need to figure out a way, because most of the people that are coming here for work. Right? That's because they can't make money where they're from, and they want to support their family, and half their family or friends live here already and have told them about how awesome it is and I'm making money. And it's just all about, for a lot of people, taking care of family. They're just trying to take care of their family, and they know if they come here, their kids are going to have free school, free medical care. They're going to get a job right away, start making money, and they're going to live a better life than they would ever. They're going to have air conditioning. They're going to eat food. Like,
well, they know if they get over there, they got it made.
Yes, and that's why they're coming, and
right.
That's why we need the wall. There has to be some kind of deterrence. The wall isn't a cure-all, okay? But it's a big enough deterrent that we, as the Border Patrol and Americans, can catch up with the flow. It will resist the flow so much that the Border Patrol won't be overwhelmed. It takes away the overwhelm of it. You know what I'm saying? It allows them to control the border better, because now they know they have this wall up.
There's not that 3-hour gap anymore.
They can monitor it with cameras
better,
and motion detectors and know where people are hitting on the wall. And it just like, listen, man, some Guatemalan woman that's 4'7", 185 pounds, is not digging a hole to go under that wall or climbing her ass over that wall. She's not. She's going to go to a place where there's what's called a natural barrier, because you got to remember, the entire border, when they say put the border up, secure the border, the wall, that's just in the areas that don't have like a natural barrier blocking, meaning the Rio, right? So like they're not going to put the wall in the middle of the Rio Grande. So they're using the Rio as a border. That's like a border wall in itself. So the entire border itself isn't one long wall, consistent straight wall from start to finish. There's areas where there's many, many, many hundreds of miles of or not hundreds of miles, many miles of where there's no wall because there's natural barriers. Areas that are very hard to get in and out of, mountainous areas, right? And all
Where
those
they don't
things.
need a wall.
Where they feel like they don't need a wall there because the natural barriers, but people that want to get here are going to go to where it's easiest to try and get in. And in some of those natural barrier areas, right, like it's easier to just go through the natural barriers, way easier than the wall. So
Put the
there's
fucking
areas,
wall up the whole way. Right? Fuck the natural barrier.
but there's areas where there's always going to be weaknesses, but we know where those weaknesses are, where those natural barrier areas are, and we can put people in place there because we expect that these are where the most people are going to come, where it's the easiest. So you just load them up there, and that's where you get them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand how people think that that's not like how it should be.
Because they don't know any better.
How do you not know that a wall keeps people out?
Because they
have them around
because they
people's
put on the
homes.
TV, and the TV says, well, the wall is not going to keep everybody out. The wall has only done this. It's media. It's media. It's what it is. But you're making a difference, and the more that you do this, and the more that you go public with it,
Yeah.
the more people see how bad it really is. Because really, you're the only one talking about it, and they only put it on once. Even Fox.
Yeah.
It's one time and done.
It
When
pisses me
Fox
off.
is going Fox is going south to me. They're not the channel they used to be.
No, and there's a lot of changes going on with inside that company, I've heard too. But to be honest, man, what really pisses me off is the people, man. It's like the Americans that are just got to suffer through this shit, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Nothing they can do.
When I mean, that's just so effed up.
Well,
that we live a totally different life than these other Americans that live here.
Yeah.
Like, we don't ever have to worry about people coming into, like, not ever, because Jupiter people come up on boat.
But it's not
But
crazy.
you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. The dynamic's completely different.
People in Tennessee or Nebraska don't have to wake up in the morning with the worry of people are going to be,
breaking
stealing
in
their
their house at night.
at all hours of the
yeah.
day, every day of the week, for years at a time. Like, they don't have that worry at all. But all of those, like, even 30 miles in, all along that border, all those people are just fucked. And
Well,
it's our job as the federal government, right, to not fuck those people.
Well, here's the thing. No matter who's in there, they're going to fuck the thing. Yeah, he was going to build the wall. That would have helped. Would he have gotten it all the way finished? Who knows?
Hell yeah, he would have.
Yeah, but you need a lot of approvals and agreements. And at the time, I don't think he would have got it done. Even if he would have got 4 more years. Unless he had the House and Senate, no way.
He passed the funding through the Department of Defense, through the military budget. So he took money from the Army, that's how he did it. That's how he funded the wall. The material was already purchased. The wall was bought and paid for. They were in the
you don't read. This is why people don't know. Because I do
bought
read
and paid
shit.
for. There's
I didn't see that.
miles of
Did you see that anywhere?
You can go on Google.
No,
and
I believe you. I mean,
and you
I don't
can
need
Google
to,
where they have all along the border just piles and piles of rusting metal that was bought and paid for by the Trump administration, delivered and supposed to go up in that area where it's delivered to, that's just literally collecting rust.
Collecting rust.
I just saw that the governor of Texas said that he has officially commandeered that steel, and he's using the steel that the federal government under the Trump administration had purchased, and he's repurposing it, and he's building the wall with that steel.
Good for him.
Because initially what was the problem was everyone saying, dude, just use the steel that's there. It's literally rusting. It's already been paid for, but that was the property of the federal government. That's not the state. The state can't just go and but apparently somehow he sees this shit in Texas, and he's building the wall with the federal government's now seized. I guess he's saying, like, this shit's on Texas land. You have, 90 days to have it removed. If it's not removed, it's property of the state of Texas. The federal government ain't removing that.
No.
Texas got their own rules, man. They can put that flag
Yeah.
higher.
And that is why you don't mess with Texas.
Right?
But anyway, he's using that steel right now
Good for
to
him.
build the wall, which is amazing because the shit's bought and paid for, right? Like, so it's good. And that is going to I'm telling you, man, when you look at the stats of cities and towns along the border where the wall was built, it's like a 95% reduction in crossings, man.
See, they don't
It's
tell you
that
anymore.
effective.
Unless I would type in, did Trump buy the materials to finish the wall? Exactly like that, it doesn't come up. If I'm just breezing through the news on decent newspapers,
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Yeah.
So that's why I had said that, because I thought he didn't
Took the
have
money
it.
from the military.
Okay, well, I'm sure he would have given it back one way or another. I mean, he was very strong in the military.
Even taking the money from the military, he still funded the military with way more money than Obama or Biden have done.
And
So, I mean,
also,
it's way
and also,
he completely rebuilt the military.
It lessens the amount of military that you need there in protection, right?
Yeah.
Because no matter how little it is, you need
Correct.
some type of military there.
Yeah, on the border, National Guard
on the
presence,
border.
yeah.
Okay, still National Guard.
Yeah.
If you have a wall, you would need less, I would assume.
Of course.
Okay, so maybe he's taken from the military, but he's also leaving military work that isn't needed and put it in a better spot, possibly.
Yeah, I mean,
Is what I'm saying.
yes.
I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, some of the areas of the border are National Guard are deployed to, and you know where those areas are? They're the areas where there's no wall.
Well, if there was a wall, maybe it would be cut in half, right?
Exactly, because when I was in Del Rio, that's one of the areas where the border wall was stopped.
Yeah.
Like it was almost built through there, and it's like you just see people walking along the wall and then just coming around where there's no wall. Of course, that's what they're doing, bro.
Doesn't it smoke you that you never hear this? I don't care how good of the newspaper. I don't care if you use DuckDuckGo, Brave, whatever. You don't hear it.
Hey.
Pull up his website.
Look at this, right? So you're staring at the wall. And you're looking up and it's 30 feet high. And 12 miles, if I walk 12 miles down there, there's no wall.
Yeah.
You'll just walk the fucking 12 miles.
Yeah.
And then you'll go,
Yeah.
and then step right into the USA.
Yeah.
Or do you think I'm going to be able to scale that wall 30 feet and then come down on the other side without shattering my legs somehow?
Or getting shot, possibly.
Yeah, I'll just walk.
Yeah, I'll walk to 12 miles.
I'll just walk
Yeah.
to where there is no wall, and then I'll just go there.
Yeah, and maybe just, get some scratches on the way.
me and I don't know, a couple 100,000 of my closest friends.
Yeah, we'll drink each other's piss on the way.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. The whole way, carrying luggage on our heads. People
And
are
they
walking
do,
through the
too.
desert. They do.
Oh, yeah.
The people from Haiti, man, they're walking with their luggage literally through the desert with a freaking carry-on bag on his head the whole way.
And believe you me, they train for that shit, too.
Like
if
a
you think
boss.
they didn't, you ain't. Listen, I've seen. Oh, that's another story.
Bro,
I've seen guys
chiropractor
train like
cracks that
crazy.
guy's neck. It's cracks for days. That dude's never had that neck crack. Bro. That's like a neck of steel carrying. Dude, that full-blown luggage.
So you mean
on
a
his head.
chiropractor might actually do something and not just take your fucking money? The fucking scam artist motherfuckers. Any chiropractor wants to come in and prove me wrong, more than welcome.
Hey, he'll take a free back crack, bro. Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong that it does.
Oh, you're
something.
like, oh, you know what? That didn't work. Get another one in here. Let's see if we can do a better job.
Massage.
Nah, that didn't work either.
So we got bluelinemoving.net,
Yep.
which will be updated soon. You
will
can
be.
make an appointment, everything else. On Instagram, it right now currently is the easiest way to make an appointment. Click on the link there.
Yeah.
You can go to Blue Line Moving on Instagram. There's a link there. You click follow the link after you leave Instagram, and right there you can schedule an appointment, customer information form, and the actual website itself.
Yep.
Very easy. That'll be implemented. And if you want to see John Rourke's personal Instagram page, it is John Rourke, JOHN.
John J. Rourke.
JORUKE. If you haven't seen it, all kinds of shit on there. A lot on Blue Line Moving. A lot of cool videos and pictures.
All the Del Rio stuff, Baltimore
all the Del Rio.
stuff.
And then your YouTube channel,
Yep.
John Rourke. And you have a ton of short videos. If you ever want to see what's going on in Ukraine, you got plenty of.
Yeah, I got so much more that I need to add to the to YouTube too. But it's
And you got Reddit.
yep,
You
I got
Reddit
I
under
got
Blue Line Moving.
under Blue Line Moving.
And Twitter.
Yeah, I don't have Twitter because I just can't stand that.
I can't stand
I
it
just
either.
can't do it. I had Twitter a long time ago, and he just and it's just the look,
I'm with
the
you.
whole thing. It
I'm
just I can't stand that guy, man.
You got
Ugh.
you with Reddit. Instagram. You got enough power with that.
It's just a guy that's literally never done anything for another person
Dempsey?
a day in his life.
Oh, he
and he
left.
acts like he's
He
the,
left. Remember? He's gone.
Yeah, right.
He signed off the board. Remember? He's not
Oh,
running it.
Maybe he'll meet me down at the border and pick up some trash, and actually give back to a community. Maybe not just write a check.
No,
That's
no.
what's easy for people to do now, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's your birthday and I get you a gift card. Happy birthday. Like that literally, I might as well have just told you, I literally don't give a shit about you, but I have to get you something or otherwise, you're going to think something of me.
But I did write your name on the fucking card.
yeah. yeah.
That was my thought, right?
Right. Exactly. Right. So it's the same thing with like these companies that like, and Dunkin' Donuts donates $10 million to the Boys and Girls Club. Hey, motherfucker, why don't you get some managers down there actually work with kids?
Yeah, how about that, right?
Like that. And they don't need, bro, the money's great, but what people need is people. They need people to actually go and do things, not just write a check and say like, oh, and then you find out like the company that they gave the check to just blew all the money at a casino or something. Like you give, all this money to the Catholic Church, and then there's priests getting arrested, and they're in the Bahamas gambling at the casinos with parishioners' monies. So like, actually,
that's how it is.
How about this? Just go actually physically yourself go do something for another person, you personally, like do that. No, that's not going to happen.
No, you just change your name to Jack Dempo.
Yeah.
But really, Jack Dempsey's running the fucking show. But you got too much shit. You got too much drama.
Mm-hmm.
So you acted like you stepped away, and now Twitter's this whole different place. But he's still running the show.
Imagine if you saw Mark Zuckerberg with a garbage bag on the side of a highway one day, and you drive by, you're like, dude, did that look like-" and you pulled over, and it was actually him. And he's like, yeah, every Friday, I just like to walk this stretch of the highway and pick up the trash that's on there. You're like,
the amount of
what
hate
would you
he's
think
getting?
of Mark Zuckerberg if you found out that was actually a real thing that he did?
Be awesome, right?
Would you change a little bit? Right? But they don't give a fuck. So that's it.
And with that, we will keep dreaming that we'll see Zuckerberg with the trash bag one day, right?
Yeah, picking up trash on I-95 or a country stretch of road because he cares so much about the earth. But I mean, he flies around in his Lear
All right,
jets and
so
his
next
yachts.
month when I see you in here, Zuckerberg will have a picture of picking up trash, right?
Hey, anything can happen. You never know. You know what? That's a good start for him.
Well, let's
He
see
could
what
start
happens.
right. He could start right at Meta's headquarters. There's tons of trash there he can take out. And you heard that right. Come at me.
Couldn't leave it better from John Rourke. Thank you for your time,
Yeah,
buddy.
man. Thanks
Love
for
it.
having me on, brother.
See you
I appreciate
soon.
it. Yeah.
You know it'll be
Hell yeah.
soon.
Let's go.
All right.